Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? 5 likes to the stream already before we've even started. Happy days, happy days. Who's ready for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? Another one on a Saturday, throwing us out of whack again in regards to our time zones and what day of the week it is. Hey everyone, Tubio, Sahal, Eric, Clouds, Kaka, good to see you guys, good to see you guys. Good morning from Australia. Oh yeah. Let's forget you're from Oz, Kaka. Mission 33 for Ferrari. Morning, Taco. How am I doing? How am I doing? Got a little bit of a niggling headache, actually. The reason I pushed the stream back is because I was asleep less than an hour ago. Did some running around this morning, and yeah, I only woke up half an hour ago. So I've had a little afternoon nap to try and sleep off a headache. So I am feeling a bit better. I am feeling better, guys. So 7 days flew by. It did, Daisy. It did. Good to see you as well, Alessandra. I did see you pop in there just a second and say hello. So you woke up 4 minutes ago. Okay, you beat me. You beat me. Yeah, I did want to go live at 15:15, but yeah, unfortunately that wasn't the case. But we've still got enough time to spin through the usual jazz. Of course, have a look at the pit stops, which Pirelli have revealed to us. Have a look at what tyres guys have remaining. And yeah, we'll wait for, of course, the telemetry to become available, and then we'll switch to that. But yeah, well, hopefully we're in for an intriguing race. Of course, Max Verstappen is on pole position. If you've been sleeping under a rock the last day or so, but Saudi Arabia, hopefully we get some drama. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully not everyone makes it to the end of the race. Of course, I want everyone to be safe in F1, but however, for there to be anything to happen up front and make kind of, I think, F1 interesting at the moment, we do need some drama in regards to safety cars or red flags, opportunities for Max especially to be put under pressure on race restarts and stuff. And well, Saudi Arabia, we've definitely had that, because there's very, very little room for error, is there? Because there's just walls left and right. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. Crazy prediction: Max wins by 20 seconds. Well, if by the looks of it, if you've been keeping up to date with social media, Max has been spending a lot of time on iRacing over the weekend on a controller. So I think he wants to probably end this race as quick as possible. I think, unfortunately, guys, I think we might see, if there's no red flags or safety cars, I think we might see one of the largest wins yeah, ever in F1 here, because I think Maxwell will just want to get home as quick as possible so that he can get onto the new iRacing update, the rain feature that he can't seem to get away from. Heard he was up all Thursday playing racing. Yeah, he was up till 4 a.m. Last night. No, not last night. Yeah, he was. Yeah, 4 a.m. last night, and then he woke up and he was up again in the morning on iRacing, playing on a controller. Bearing in mind, he was on controller playing an hour before he left the hotel this morning, something like that. So yeah, I think he's more interested in iRacing at the moment than he is actually F1, which says a lot, doesn't it? It says a lot. So we're 24 hours behind. Abby's come from the future, guys, to tell us what the deal is. P2, everyone else behind, yeah. But thanks everyone for joining us once again for our second race watch along. Not our second watch along, because of course we did a few last week. But yeah, hopefully it'll be an interesting one, guys. So remember to hit the like button as always, and as well, guys, if you want to help support the channel and myself for doing these watch alongs for you, believe it or not, you don't actually get a lot in regards to ad revenue on live streams. So I don't really like to run ads during live streams. Subscribing but becoming a member of the channel really helps support myself and hopefully make this a full-time job one day. We're getting there. We're getting there. So, greetings, John. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you, Spud. Declare W. Come on. At this point, I'm just learning. You have to. You have to in F1. You have to. Right, we'll just give it a couple of seconds, a minute or so, and then we'll have a look at what the ideal strategies are for today. How will Ollie perform? Yes. Look, I think he did amazing yesterday, Ollie Behrman. Considering the circumstances, he is in P11. If he can score points for Ferrari, that's a massive bonus for him. He is starting right in the thick of it, P11 in the midfield at a circuit like this. Of course, he is familiar with racing at Saudi because of the F2 series. But yeah, F1 is a different kettle of fish. So I think he just needs to be sensible. He's got the car underneath him to probably overtake the Aston Martins, the McLarens. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he's got. And any points today would be a great result for him. He would have snapped your hand off of him. Snapped your hand off if you offered him points yesterday. You would have snapped your hand off if he at the start of the week if you gave him an F1 drive. So you having a bad day on racing? It's only week 13. No one cares. He did well in quali. Yeah, he did well in quali. Well, if Max gets a DNF, so how? I think that unfortunately you don't want any driver to DNF really. But unfortunately, it kind of is looking like the only way that someone else will win a race is if Max DNFs, which is a testament to Red Bull and a testament to Max. Of course, there's a lot of drama. If you've been keeping up with the news, guys, and the rumours, there's a lot of drama happening off the circuit at the moment. Almost seems like there's a civil war happening in the Red Bull team. So yeah, who knows where Max could be by the end of this year. Stay tuned with that. Stay tuned for that. But let's have a look, guys, at the strategies and the tyre allocations that teams have remaining today, as we always do prior to the race. Right, so let's just get rid of the chat box for a second. So, good page to follow, guys, on Twitter is Pirelli, the Pirelli Motorsport, not Pirelli themselves, Pirelli Sports page, but you can see up here. They are particularly to do with the F1 side of things and the motorsport side of things, and they post a real good amount of data throughout and graphics before the race weekends, where the loads are, what to expect, what tyres we're using. Just really helpful, especially if you're kind of looking to get a little bit more involved in the F1 side of things and more into what goes into F1, because strategy is a big element of F1. So today we have a number of stops available. Primarily it is always a one stop here, if there are no safety cars, if there are no red flags, and that's kind of what is going to dictate the strategy here today. We are going to see probably those first two one-stoppers used, the hard tyre being utilised at some point in this race. Last year we saw a couple of guys start on the hard tyre. I think Lewis started on the hard tyre last year, and he removed it straight away because he was just hated it. You just can't get it up to temperature at the start of the race, and he was just a sitting duck. I think a lot of people are going to probably start on that soft compound tyre. Try and get as much grip off the line. Of course, we've had a number of safety cars here in the last 2 years, red flags, so that could potentially bring in the two-stopper. So we'll see what happens. But let's have a look at the tyre allocation for today. So yeah, to summarise, it's pretty much a one-stop race if we don't get a safety car. And this is the tyre allocation. So I actually haven't looked at this, guys. Get to your comments in a second. But we have Max with no soft tyres available, brand new soft tyres. We all know that really, to be honest, they're like new tyres anyway with how good the Red Bull is when it comes to tyre deck. But we have George Russell and Hamilton with only one brand new set of medium tyres available. Same as the Ferraris And well, yeah, that already puts the Red Bulls, like they needed it, in kind of pole position when it comes to 2 new sets of mediums available to them. That may bear fruit when it comes to restarts later on in the race if we do get safety cars and red flags. Lando Norris has no brand new sets of hard tyres. He has only a used set, same as Piastri. But interestingly, he has 2 new sets of mediums available. So intriguing there. It seems to be that, oh, wow, look at the Aston Martins. What have they done to their tyre strategy? Lance Stroll. I don't think I've ever seen this, guys. Lance Stroll doesn't have one brand new set of any tyre available to him today. They're all used tyres. What? Have you ever seen that? I don't think I've ever seen that. A team always keeps at least one fresh set of tyres, whether it be whatever compound it is, because Alonso has one brand new set of soft tyres available. But that is, I'm surprised about that. I'm wondering what the logic is there. So keep an eye out on Stroll's progression today, because that may really not suit him as this race goes on. And then, of course, the other guys, you can see there further down the grid, Guan Yu Zhou has 4 brand new sets of tyres available to him because he did not start qualifying yesterday. So yeah, he might just throw the softs on whenever he wants, to be honest with you. But yeah, intriguing race ahead of us. Of course, unfortunately, kind of behind Max, especially at the back end of the field, because those guys I keep an eye out on Stake F1. They've got a lot of soft tyres available to them. It wouldn't surprise me if they try something different and maybe try the 2-stopper, especially if there's safety cars. They have that benefit of just chucking as many softs on as they want, to be honest with you, with how many they've got available. So, interesting. I'm able to now set up my telemetry, so let's do that, and then we can change scene again. Do I think Max will win? I think I should place a bet. No, Martin. It's probably a waste of your money, to be honest with you. You wouldn't get a lot of money back. The returns would not be good at all. Right. Let's just sort this out. Right. Alpine might end up at the bottom again. I have to tend to agree with you, Armed Up. I think I have to agree with you there. They're not looking good at all, are they? Right, guys. So today, kind of trying something a touch different for you all. I'm not so focused on the information that's displayed below the timings. I've got a little bit there that we can see, but primarily, guys, I'm more focused on just displaying the standings for you and the timers and all the information that's displayed here, and of course the track map. Do many of you focused on what is kind of displayed in regards to the bottom of this screen here? Just let me know if you do. If not, I'm going to kind of leave it as it is, because I think this is where the important information is. So, rugby on the TV, stuffy on the laptop. Sounds like a good combination. Actually, why am I not on the TV? Why am I not on the TV, eh? How's the broadcast? Has something dropped out? Have I dropped out? Dropped frames. What happened? Am I back? Am I back? Am I? Did I drop out there? Bit of a stutter. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people stuttered there. Hang on a second. Hang on. You might lose me again. Changed, of course, using a VPN. I'm just changed server there. I think it might have been the server that I was using was a bit wrong. I couldn't remember which one I used last time, to be honest with you guys. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't drop out again. Yeah, sorry, it will drop out just for a sec. Oh, good now, good now. Yes, sorry guys. Good on your eyes, busy. Let's see if we can hide the AI driver messages, because they're kind of a little bit naff, to be honest with you. There's so many things coming through at one time, but yeah, is that all good for you guys in regards to size and table and everything? Yeah, of all the standings. I don't think there's really too much information that like is displayed at the bottom there. It's just, I can keep you up to date with all of that. Ollie P12 is P11. Perfect, perfect. Max pound the price for not ditching a concept a year ago, 2 years behind everyone. Yes, Aaron. Yeah, I saw your comment on this. So yes. So if people aren't aware of why the Mercs are so far down, so I noticed yesterday, and this is the beauty of watching the timing screens here, guys, compared to what you learn on TV, is that quite evidently I could see the timing screens here, especially in Sector 1, that the Mercedes were losing half a second, like even on their good laps, over the likes of Norris, Alonso, Perez, Leclerc in the first sector. Max Verstappen was actually 7 tenths faster on Hamilton's fastest lap compared to Verstappen's fastest lap. He was 7 tenths faster alone in the first sector. And you're thinking, what has gone on there? He's able to recover it a bit in the second sector and the last sector, but that's a lot of time lost in the first sector alone. And then you heard it in interviews after the race that Lewis was complaining that the car is just, the rear of the car is just not planted through the first sector. So you're talking about like through, of course, turn 1, but predominantly through turn 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like all the way down here, you'll kind of need to be flat out. There's only like a slight lift that occurs. And there was telemetry data that was shown by some of the data analysts on Twitter and that, and you could evidently see the traces that the Mercedes were just lifting so much through the first sector compared to Verstappen, who could just keep it flat out. He could just keep it planted. So yeah, that was why they were losing so much time in that first sector. Now, when it comes to a race, it's not as important to be slow through there because there's not really an overtaking opportunity. However, it's not going to get you, of course, further up the grid when it comes to qualifying. And we know now of how tight qualifying is that it's just not ideal. So, yeah, we'll see if they're able to launch themselves ahead into that first sector or into the first corner at the start and make up some positions. There'll then probably be a bit of a roadblock into the first sector, and then they'll pick up some pace again through the second and third. But yeah, worrying for the Mercedes there. Hey Bear, good to see ya. It's a good suggestion for cars or tracks that should buy going to promote the C-Class in road and want to branch out. Yeah, Superform of the Lights, mate. Have a look at the schedule and just have a look at what tracks are on the Superform of the Lights season. And yeah, go from there, buddy, to be honest. Focus on that, and then you can branch out some more. That's what I'd say. Focus on one kind of series in regards to the Formula side at first. Helmut Marko out and Max Tavert. Is this a possibility? It's looking like it, John. Yes, so if anyone is not aware of the rumours and kind of stuff that's circulating at the moment, let's turn the chat box on. That would help. At the moment, it is looking like that there is quite evidently a power struggle. There is a civil war happening in Red Bull. And yeah, Helmut Marko, I haven't really touched too much on it because it is all kind of rumours and hearsay at the moment, but it is, if the reports are true, Helmut Marko is supposedly the man who leaked Horner's messages or the evidence that was part of the investigation into Horner in Red Bull. And yeah, Helmut Marko says he's about to be suspended by Red Bull. If people don't know, Red Bull is owned by 2 majority entities. You have the Matterschwitz. I know I've probably butchered that. But technically, the Red Bull family who created Red Bull, they own like 49%, I think it is, of the company. And then you have a Thai company who own 51%. So they have the majority share. Now, if there is a vote, the Thai company can just outvote the Red Bull family whenever they want, even though it's technically their company, if you get what I mean. But that's what you get for obviously wanting to sell off parts of your company and earn money. But yeah, supposedly Helmut Marko has backing of the Red Bull family. Horner has the backing of the Thai side of the company. And then, yeah, it turns out that Max has come out in support of Helmut Marko yesterday after qualifying and said, look, if he goes, I go. And there's always been rumours that the upper management in Red Bull, like the key figures, Horner, Verstappen, Marko, Nui, they all kind of have clauses that interlink their relationship in Red Bull, that if one of them leaves, it allows the others to leave as well, give them a release clause in an essence. It's always been rumoured, but we've never really had it confirmed, of course, because contracts are contracts and they stay mostly confidential. So yeah, but there's a lot quite evidently happening behind the scenes. So yeah, stay tuned. I don't think it's over by any means. Oh, I'm sure 50% sure Max is going to Mercedes. Look, just never say never in sports. I think never say never. We've seen some big transfers in sports before, and yeah, just because Max is winning at Red Bull, it wouldn't make sense for him to leave. But there's a lot more that happens behind the scenes. As us just watching Formula One, as us just watching sports, we forget that these people are human beings. They have feelings, and while obviously their day job is very different to the majority of us, they still go through the ups and downs of the workplace and the positives and the negatives, and sometimes they want to move somewhere else where they're going to enjoy their work better, enjoy their work more. So yeah, that's why those behind the scenes documentary is always very good to see how sports teams operate and stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned. I think it will massively shake up F1, more so than Lewis going to Ferrari. That's Max in his prime. Max in his prime going to Mercedes or anywhere else for that matter would be just crazy. Max and Mercedes, yeah, imagine that. But do we want him in Merc? So as I said before, I've never always been the biggest fan of Max. I do think he's kind of a product. I feel like there's two versions of Max Verstappen. There's the chill, laid-back, sim racing Max who spends time with his friends, who I think is a great guy and comes across really well. And then there's the Max who is in the F1 environment where he's around Helmut Marko, Christian Horner, his dad and that, and he's just like I feel like he's a different person, and that's not the Max I'm a fan of, and probably why I've grown to not like him as much as other drivers. I don't hate anyone, but yeah, I think that's quite evident. I think that when he's around those sort of people, he's a different person. But yeah, it's interesting that he said he if Marko goes, he will go. So they must force Max to drive a Haas. I'm just Visual Super Formula Canada. Guess who's making our racing richer? Hey, we always do. I believe that Behrman will be in the points at the end of the race. Yeah, I think so. I think Behrman has got a good opportunity. Because you think who's ahead of him? He just needs to be patient. He's got Lance Stroll. He's got Yuki Tsunoda. He's got two Mercedes who aren't really on pace and seem to be struggling. So, yeah, I agree with that. All the drivers are animals on track. Of course they are. And they're all quick drivers. As much as some of us may prefer other drivers over to others and may not like some, you have to respect that they are quick. They've got to F1 for a reason. Of course, there's money involved, and some of them get to F1 maybe and last longer in F1 than maybe they should do, Stroll. But they are still very, very, very quick drivers and have got there for a reason. and they would wipe me or you off the park when it comes to a racing on a sim or racing around a go-kart track or any track in any car for that matter. So, but anyway, we are nearly here, guys. Just over 5 minutes until the race begins. Let me know. I'm not running a poll because I'm fed up of running polls of who's going to win, because I know who it's going to be every single time who wins. So let me know who your top 3 is going to be. Who do you think is going to be first, second and third today, guys? Let me know in the chat right now and I'll let you know mine. Let me have a think. I'm going to try and generate some mind over matter, you know. I'm going to try and will stuff into existence with my prediction. No, I don't want to remove chat box. That was the wrong button. To reload it so that the... Saying Marco's staying, what? Marco is staying. Boring. That's what someone's just reported to me. Okay, don't know where that's come from. You sat at cops when Max crashed there. Oof, that must have been a biggie. To sit and see. A bigger flex would be if you was right where Guan Yu Zhou flipped over. That would have been the bigger flex. Right, I've had my coffee. I'm caffeined up. I'm ready for the start of this race, guys. Ready for the start of this race. Predictions for podiums. Yeah, no one's giving me their predictions. Come on, guys. Who's going to be first, second, third? You're waiting for my predictions? Is that why? You're waiting for my predictions and then you're going to judge it based off of that. Okay, so this is how I see the race panning out. Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc head down into the first corner. They go side by side and Max and Charles clash. Sergio Perez goes straight through. We have a red flag. We then see Perez and Alonso fight it out for a win. And we're going to see a 42-year-old Aston Martin Fernando Alonso win his first race in Formula One since back when he was in Ferrari. And we're going to see an Alonso, Perez and a Piastri podium. You asked for it. That's what I'm willing into existence. Mind over matter. Come on. Listen, it's what you come to this watch along for the opinions that you don't get elsewhere. Alonso to Mert, yeah, I still think that could happen. Could I imagine? I know. Right. Oh, we have tyre blankets off, guys. We have tyre blankets off. And we have only 2 drivers starting on the soft compound tyre. Ollie Behrman, who is making his F1 debut, his first ever F1 race, standing in for Carlos Sainz on the soft compound tyre, as well as Valtteri Bottas. I am surprised that Guan Yu Zhou is actually not starting on the softs, considering he has 4 of them available. So that's intriguing. I think that's a smart decision for Ollie Behrman to start on the softs. He can get a good start and gain a couple of positions, give him some confidence at the start of this race, and give him an opportunity to overtake those ahead. But yeah, only Alonso and Stroll are on only 1 lap medium. So when I said they don't have brand new, Stroll doesn't have brand new tyres available, they're only 1 lap old. But yeah, everyone's starting on the mediums. Interesting. So that indicates, of course, a medium to hard stop. Does leave them open to running a soft tyre, a couple of softs at the end, maybe. It's probably the most reasonable tyre to start on, especially if we get a safety car or a red flag halfway through this race. So, do I think Lewis Hamilton's counting down the races already? I think he probably is, yeah. Yeah, I think he genuinely is. I don't think that car has a... They're so far behind the Red Bull team. He's probably thinking, yeah, they're so far behind in development. The team will probably get back to competing at the front again, but not in the time that he has left in the sport. And that's the big problem. He's 40 this year, isn't he? I think He hasn't turned 40 yet, has he? So I think he turns 40 this year. So he's got... That's the reason why he's moving to Ferrari. He doesn't have time for Mercedes to get their act together. And, of course, they didn't want to give him that time either. So, but thank you for the subs, guys. Much appreciated. If you can hit that like button, how about we get to 100 likes before the race has even started? We've got nearly 200 of you in here. We've got just under a minute until they are going on their formation lap, guys. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which always throws up some drama. Hopefully, we don't get as... hopefully, it's not like the Bahrain race where we get every single car finish this race. Because that happened last race in Bahrain, and it's the first time in F1 history that every single car has made it to the end of the first race. So yeah, just shows a testament to reliability, but it's not great for us fans if there's nothing to kind of bunch the cars back up again if we get those sort of races where the racing spreads out, which kind of always does in the first couple of races, because teams are still trying to figure out where their cars are. So he turned 39 in Jan. Okay, so yeah, so he's got one more year, isn't he, as a 39-year-old? So till he's in his 40s. But hey, Rotty, good to see you. Good to see everyone. Right, yes, race is only a couple of minutes away, guys, as they are now on the formation lap. So let's run through this grid one more time for the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. No penalties dished out for impeding yesterday. So it is as they qualified. So we have Verstappen in P1 from Leclerc aligning alongside him for the second race in a row. Sergio Perez and Fernando Alonso on that second row. Piastri and Norris in the two McLarens, 5th and 6th. The two Mercedes directly behind him in 7th and 8th. Yuki Tsunoda, a good qualifying from him yesterday, out qualifying his teammate by 5 positions with Lance Stroll in P10. Ollie Behrman making his F1 debut, of course, the big story this weekend, stepping in for Carlos Sainz, who is in the paddock today, actually, after having his appendix operated on. So, yeah, speedy recovery to him. Alex Albon in P12, Magnussen in 13th, Ricciardo in 14th. Not a great qualifying from him yesterday. Hulkenberg in 15th after his engine kind of shut off. I don't know the cause of that. I haven't really paid too much attention to what caused that, but yeah, Hulkenberg in 15th. He was looking at a decent qualifying again yesterday. So keep an eye out on Hulkenberg and those Haas's if they can keep their front wings intact, as they don't like to do in the first couple of laps of a race. They could potentially make their way forward. Bottas in 16th, starting on the soft compound tyre, so keep an eye on him and see if he can make up positions off the start. And then we have the two Alpines, who I think we all expect to finish around about where they are, because they're very, very poor at the moment. That team is in absolute turmoil. People leaving left, right and centre, that company. So who knows where they'll be as an F1 team in a couple of years' time. Logan Sargent in 19th, and Guan Yu Zhou, who of course lost it in FP3 in the barrier and was unable to set a qualifying lap, is in 20th. And that is your grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, guys. Only just seconds away as Max Verstappen leads them down to their grid spots. And yes, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, second race of the season underway. Very, very tight first corner here, guys. We see guys kind of cutting across that corner as they bow out. Very kind of similar to Sochi. Is it Sochi, the Russian Grand Prix, where they kind of all come in together, very, very tight, and some lockups. So there's potential there, as always, for there to be some crashes. Of course, turns 2 all the way to turn 4 and 6. There's not a lot of room, just barriers left, right, and centre. So let's go, guys. Let's go. Remember to hit the like button if you can. Over 300 of you in here. Welcome, everyone. Let's get to over 100 likes as Guan Yu Zhou lines up at the back of the grid here. Seconds away, a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix of 2024, second race of the season. Who is going to win it? Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Is it going to be anyone else? I think we'll take that at the moment, to be honest with you. If you are a neutral, if you're a Max Verstappen fan, you are in dreamland. So here they are, very, very long to get to their starting positions here. Is that going to affect the drivers at the front with their tyres losing temperature? Of course, it's not ideal for them. That has potential to provide more lockup. So here we go, Guan Yu Zhou lining up at the back of the grid here. it is going to be lights out and... Very, very long here. And away they go as they head down into the first corner. Does anyone bog down as they head into the very tight first, then second corner? Remember, there could be guys who make contact here. It happened last year. Seems to be that Gasly's lost a position. Magnussen and a few positions gained at the back of the grid here. And importantly for Ollie Behrman, he has held position in P11 and a few of those changing positions at the back as Gasly is the biggest loser thus far. But at the moment, importantly for Verstappen, he has made it down into that first corner and already pulled out a 1 second lead on Charles Leclerc in just a space of a couple of corners. Perez, Alonso, Piastri, Norris, Russell, Hamilton, or the top 8 remain in position, but Stroll has gained on Yuki Tsunoda there. Important for him as they headed down into the first corner. So they head through the very fast middle sector. Let's watch the replay and just see if there was any side-by-side action as they went through the first sector there. So it was a very good start by Charles Leclerc and also by Perez, and Perez actually got up in front of Leclerc, but Leclerc very boldly held on to his position, and yeah, Verstappen very aggressively came across the front of Charles Leclerc to cover him off there, so he was a bit worried. Gasly, has he got damage? Has he got damaged? It seems to be there's a pit lane incident involving Tsunoda and Norris that will be investigated after the race for an unsafe release. But Gasly's definitely got an issue there. I wonder if he's had contact and lost the front wing or if he has a puncture. He's definitely going very slow. But at the moment, after the first lap, the top 8 is as it remains. DRS enabled now after 1 lap. But Ollie Behrman in P11. Yuki Tsunoda regains a position from Lance Stroll, and Piastri actually gains on Alonso down into the first corner there. Great move by Piastri. Alonso cheekily said after the qualifying session yesterday that you will not get past us, you're too slow in the straights, to Lando Norris of the McLarens. Well, Piastri has just put that to bed straight away as Gasly, comes into the pit lane. I'm just waiting for the TV coverage to show exactly what issue he has, of course, with him being at the back. And they already have to retire the car. Gasly has to retire the car already for the Alpines. It just goes from bad to worse. Not entirely sure why that is. I'm sure we'll get an idea of what exactly happens. Maybe it's some suspension damage, which is why he's going so slow. But something quite evidently there broken on the Alpine of Gasly, which has caused him to retire from this race and not even completing 1 lap. So Verstappen is 1.1 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc staying close through the middle sector there. Perez outside of the DRS at the moment. You can see Alonso does have DRS on Piastri as there is a bit of a gap forming between the top 3 already. We'll see if Piastri can pull away from Alonso. And, Norris makes a move on Alonso down into the last corner. And, Alonso holds onto it. But will Piastri be able to hold on down into the first corner as Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the race? I think actually that was a track map with a slight delay there. Norris didn't make a move on Alonso, but you can see Lance Stroll already holding up the pack behind, and there's a kind of 3 groups forming here between the top 3 of Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, and then we have Piastri down to P8 of Hamilton, and then we have all aboard the Stroll train behind. Interestingly, Behrman has not been able to overtake Tsunoda at the moment as they're in a bit of a DRS train. Hamilton with the fastest last sector there as well. So, yeah, not too bad from them. And Leclerc staying so-so with Verstappen, but the key about that Red Bull is that it's so strong in the first sector that he's just able to pull out a gap, and I think Leclerc pulls back a little bit in the second sector, but that Red Bull is so supreme through the first sector where it's just able to stay flat compared to the other drivers who do have to lift. Of course, Verstappen in clean air as well. He's punching through the air in front, and that's throwing off to Leclerc, who will give him less downforce. So here we go. Perez is going to have DRS this time around. He is a lot closer. Let's see if he goes for a move into the last corner on Leclerc, the winner of this race last year. Remember, he is strong at the street circuits. This is, of course, technically a street circuit. And he doesn't make a move down into the last corner, but he is a lot closer here as they head down into the overtaking opportunity of turn 1. Hard on the brakes. Here goes Perez. He's closing. Has he got enough? Is he going to make Leclerc go out of position and do the cutback? And he has. Perez has got the move done, but we saw Leclerc come back at him in the first lap, and Perez makes the move stick. So it is a Red Bull at the moment, 1-2. And apparently George Russell is reporting that Lando Norris jump-started. Lando Norris jump-started the race. Oh no. Just watching this now, and oh, he definitely jump-starts. Oh no, Lando Norris, guys, you Lando fans out there, Lando has jump-started the race. He moved, stopped, and then went again, but unfortunately that initial move was too much, but it moved him in front of his pit box, and they're investigating it. But I'm really not sure how that can not be a penalty, to be honest with you. That's a bit of a slam dunk. Great move from Perez as well. Just saw the overtake there. Clean overtake on Charles Leclerc, and yeah, didn't give him an opportunity to come back at him. So let's have a look a little bit further down the grid. Not too many positions gained thus far by drivers, either losing or gaining a position. We have Verstappen in P1, setting a fastest lap. Interestingly enough, Perez does have the pace at the moment of Verstappen. Let's see if he's able to stay on that pace while he is under attack from Charles Leclerc. 33.7 for Verstappen last time around, and a 34.0 for Perez. So a bit quicker for Verstappen this time around. Charles Leclerc closing up the gap, but not able to have an opportunity to regain that position after losing it the previous lap. Piastri doing well to hold off Alonso at the moment. We have Norris, of course, who will most likely get that penalty at some point during this race. I don't know how they haven't dished that out already. He's currently in 6th place. George Russell in 7th, close behind Norris. Hamilton in 8th, outside of the DRS of his teammate at the moment. And then there's a bit of a gap there of 2.6 seconds to Lance Stroll, who has a train behind him of Tsunoda, Behrman, Magnussen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Ocon, Bottas, Sargent and Zhou. And to answer someone's question in the chat, what happened to Gasly? I have no idea. I have no idea what happened to him. They still haven't shown on the TV coverage exactly what happened to him. I can only imagine he made contact and had to retire the car. They just came over the radio and just said, we need to retire the car. So I'm not entirely sure what happened. But yeah, I'm going to assume that it all got very close and he's received some damage. But yeah, so Leclerc don't know how to defend. You need to choose your battles. At the end of the day. So get his arse, Behrman. Yeah, he's closing. He's in a bit of a DRS train at the moment, unfortunately. So we'll see how he goes. Kind of needs Stroll to come under attack from Yuki. So we'll see if anything happens there. Fernando Alonso closing on Oscar Piastri, but not close enough to gain on that McLaren at the moment. Yuki Tsunoda setting the fastest last sector, by the way. And here we go. Do we have an opportunity of Yuki having a go on Lance Stroll here as they head into turn 1? He's very, very close. And no, he doesn't. So no one making moves at the moment. Come on, someone do something stupid, please. Come on. Because there's some DRS trains forming at the moment. But Verstappen, just the fastest every single time in that first sector. And the second fastest is Perez. Those two Red Bulls can just go through that first sector faster than anyone. It is insane. The next fastest is Leclerc. The next fastest actually is Piastri and Leclerc. So, yeah, it's no surprise. That's the word I was looking for. No surprise, but he is in 3rd and Piastri in 4th at the moment, because they're just able to put out that gap in the first sector on everyone else. But yeah, already we're seeing guys get stuck in the DRS train. We need someone to make a move somewhere. But yeah, it's... am I going to say it's fizzing out already? It's 6 laps into this race. I hope not. As only Lance Stroll has lost it. Could this be the safety car that we're asking for? He is definitely Surely there's a yellow flag there. What has happened to Lance Stroll? Has he pulled over to the side with an issue and there's a yellow flag? This is definitely a safety car. Lance Stroll has lost it. If there was anyone we was looking for to do something silly, it was Lance Stroll, guys, and he is in the barrier, no doubt, in turns 23. That is a very fast section of the track there. Just watching the TV coverage to see exactly what happens. We'll see. There's a double yellow there in turns 24. Car stopped at turn 23. Still no safety car. Obviously, they're trying to determine what exactly has happened. Has he had to pull off to the side? I don't know what's happened. Come on. And there is a safety car. There is a definite safety car. We'll see. And Lance Stroll just goes straight on, locks up, and goes headfirst into the barrier at turn 23. They caught it straight on Sky News. I don't think this will be a red flag, but it will be a safety car. Of course, it will bunch up the pack and make things interesting for us. Something happened there. It's almost like... what happened there? Because we saw that, so with the TV coverage, we see from bird's eye view, and I don't know if he clipped the curb or something and it threw him off, but he definitely went just straight on into the barrier. And well, yes, if we was looking for someone to spice up this race, Lance Stroll is the man we look to, as Ollie Bearman now heads into the top 10 with the opportunity to score his first point in his first ever race in F1. Just want to see the onboard again to see. Lance Stroll, thankfully, is reporting he is okay. So, yeah, he did have the brakes fully slammed on when he went into that barrier. But, yeah, a bit of an odd one there. I don't know if that's a driver error or if something went wrong with the car. I would like to see the onboard to see exactly what happened. We'll get that very shortly. But... is anyone going to make an opportunity here to come into the pit lane? We are seeing pit stops, guys. We are seeing pit stops. So we have the two Red Bulls come into the pits as Charles Leclerc. And as everyone comes into the pits, I'm going to just watch the onboard here. Oh, he's hit the barrier. Oh, no, he's... Lance Stroll, it is driver error. He turned into the barrier. He turned into the corner too early, broke his front left suspension, and that's why he went straight into the wall. That is... I'm sorry, that is not what a driver of his caliber, of his experience, should be doing. I'm sorry, that is... We saw Logan Sargent do it in FP2, FP1, but for Lance Stroll to do that is just, yeah, absolutely madness. Absolute madness, if you ask me. I can't believe he's turned in too early there. That's a big, big driver error, and that's why he went straight on. So there we go, guys. Big driver error there from Lance Stroll has brought out the safety car, and we actually have Lando Norris in P1 at the moment, as everyone has pretty much decided to pit, other than the likes of Norris, Hamilton, Nico Hulkenberg at the moment, and Guan Yu Zhou. So we'll see if those drivers are going to stay out there. I guess they may be hoping that it's possibly a red flag. I don't know. They're going onto the hard tyre to potentially take this to the end of the race, or maybe do a two-stopper and switch onto the soft compound tyre at the end. So just listening to Sky, I see exactly what they're reporting in regards to this. Staying on the medium compound isn't a bad thing. Hang on. Interesting. So yeah, we'll see if this plays out for them, staying on the medium compound tyre. It is early in this race, possibly to go onto the hard compound. There is potential, of course, for there being another safety car later on in this race as well. So at least this spices it up. I like to see that not everyone is following suit and going straight onto the hards. So we'll see. Penalty for Ocon. How was Leclerc fifth? So Norris has not pitted. Hamilton hasn't pitted. So you can still say that Leclerc is net P3, basically. So yeah, the order's a little bit jumbled up at the moment due to some pit stops there. So some have lost, some have gained. Like Guan Yu Zhou hasn't pitted, so he's up 10 positions in P10. We have Albon down a couple. We have Sargent up a couple in 17th place. Danny Ricciardo, who pitted as well, is a big loser there, down in 18th. Lance Stroll looks very, very upset, but look, he's got no one else to blame but himself there. Big driver error, turning into the corner too early hits the barrier and breaks his front left suspension. Actually, that was a fair old whack straight into the barrier there. But I'm surprised. I mean, yeah. What more can you say? What more can you say? So replace Stroll with a Felipe. I would have to agree. I would have to agree. Felipe Drogovic, get in there. But while your dad owns the team, you have the benefit of still having that seat. So yeah, which is a shame. Which is a shame. Can you bring it in? No, I hit so hang on, just looking at some of the pit stops here. Of course, it got very busy in the pit lane. And, oh, there could be an unsafe release. Will there be an unsafe release for a Red Bull there? Who was that? Was that Max Verstappen? Or was that Sergio Perez? There was definitely what looked like an unsafe release by a Red Bull car there. That looks like that's an unsafe release, you know. I know it got very, very busy in the pit lane, but that looked like an unsafe release from a Red Bull. So an unsafe release means that they have released the car from the pit lane too early and into an oncoming car down the pit lane. So they have control of the release of the car, the pit lane guys, and if they release them too early, yeah, there'll be a penalty dished out. So we'll see if that's investigated. To me, that was a clear-cut unsafe release, but I don't know. Some strange things happen when it comes to investigating Red Bull, doesn't it? So, right, so I think the safety car is in this lap. Yes, safety car in this lap, and we will be going racing again. So at the moment, it is for position. We have Lando Norris, who did jumpstart this race. I'm surprised he also hasn't been given a penalty yet either. In P1, we have Verstappen P2, Hamilton P3, yet to pit, Norris and Hamilton. Perez P4, Leclerc 5th, Piastri 6th, Alonso 7th, Hulkenberg, who hasn't pitted yet either, in 8th, George Russell 9th, Guan Yu Zhou in 10th, up 10 positions, also another yet to pit. Then we have Tsunoda, Behrman, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon, Bottas, Sargent, Ricciardo, who are all on hard compound tyres. And we are green, ready to go. Norris is going to control this safety car restart as they head down into the first corner. He's coming around the last corner now. When is he going to decide to go? He, of course, wants to go as late as possible with the pace of that Red Bull of Max Verstappen. You don't want to give him a drive. He's waiting to the last second here, Norris, and he's gone. Lando has gone, and the race is back underway, guys. If you can hit the like button as well, as we are restarting this race for the first time. 10 laps completed, or on the 10th lap now. And is Max able to make a move on Lando Norris? He doesn't. So Verstappen, on a set of hard compound tyres, is not able to overtake Norris straight away. And, well, this is the first time this year, of course, it's only in our second race, but Max Verstappen is not in P1. He pitted last race from the lead and came out in the lead. So, yes, Verstappen, this is the first time we're seeing him in actually second place this year. Of course, he has Lando Norris. Lando will know that Verstappen is not his race. However, he does have a pack of cars behind him, so he will not want to give up that position easily, because otherwise he'll be under attack from Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, Lando waited till the last second to restart that race. I'm just watching the replay now to see if he gave an opportunity to Max Verstappen, and no, it was all very nicey between those up the front. So we have Hamilton close behind Verstappen, and we haven't said that since 2021. Well, actually, no, 2022, wasn't it? 2022. No, 23 was last year. Circuit of the Americas. So, DRS will be activated next lap, guys. Only one lap now after a safety car restart or the start of a race. Do we then get a DRS activated? No longer waiting 2 laps. So, will Hamilton be able to have a go on Max Verstappen, of all people, while Max is trying to overtake Norris? But it looks like Max isn't close enough to have a go on Lando here. Of course, I think it is kind of only a matter of time until he gets past Lando. He does have older medium compound tyres compared to Max's hards. Of course, different strategies being enforced here by the teams, maybe hoping for a safety car themselves again, or a red flag to maintain track position. Goal hanging in essence, but it doesn't seem like there was any moves. Actually, George Russell's lost a couple of positions, it seems. in the restart there. Nico Hulkenberg, of all people, is up into 8th place. Wow, go on the Hulk, who had a power issue yesterday with his engine, which caused him not to be able to set a time in Q2. But Lando's doing well, 34.1 in the first sector there compared to Verstappen, who did a 34.5. So not Verstappen's finest there in the middle, in the first sector, but of course he is on hards compared to Lando, who is on mediums. And there is a pit lane incident. It was Perez and Alonso. Unsafe release has been noted by the stewards. I thought so. It does seem like a bit of a slam dunk, to be honest with you. He was released straight into the path of Alonso, who had to slam on his brakes. So we'll see. So also, incident, Lando Norris, incorrect starting position has also been noted. So yeah, that's obviously due to the jump start. And I do unfortunately think that both of those are a slam dunk for both Perez and for Lando. So we will see. But let's see how Behrman's getting on up in P11. Go on, Behrman. Get Guan Yu Zhou. You could do it. You could do it. Local lad. Only grew up down the road from where I grew up, actually. So supported. Good to see the Brits. Bit of a tangle there between Kevin Magnussen and Alex Albon. Albon complaining on the radio. Yeah, I don't know why they're reporting that the pit lane incident between Perez and Alonso is under investigation again. But yeah, Verstappen, while we set the fastest lap last time around, it was only by a couple of hundredths. He's still not able to close in on Lando. Of course, two very good friends off the circuit, and different strategies being employed here at the moment. Verstappen probably not too fussed about getting past Lando, and probably just happy to see another car in front of him for once, because the only cars he sees on track when he's overtaking them are blue flag cars, a lap cars. So yeah, he's probably G-ing Lando on at the moment, Max, to be honest with you, which is crazy to think when you're in an F1 car driving 200 miles an hour around a circuit where walls are left and right. But hey ho, these guys are built very, very different. Lewis Hamilton in third place at the moment. Not doing too bad on the mediums, 11 laps in. He has lost the DRS, of course, to Max Verstappen, which we knew was going to happen. Perez will get him, I think, this time around with the DRS down into turn 1, as Max is very late on the brakes there. I wonder if Lando's tyres might be falling off. I think Max might have an opportunity with DRS open now to get Lando down into the first corner. It seems like this move is going to be done, and I think Lando smartly is not going to fight this, unfortunately for us neutrals, because yeah, Lando is of course on a different strategy and knows he doesn't have the car to beat Max Verstappen at the moment. One day they'll have a car that can go toe-to-toe with each other, and that'll be great to see out on track. But Perez as well also got that move done on Hamilton, and Perez has been strong here in the past, of course the winner last year, and he is now got Lando in his sights. So correction, Lando Norris is being investigated for a jump start, not incorrect starting position. So yeah, it is a jump start. He's actually being investigated for. But come on, Behrman, get past Guan Yu Zhou. He's out of the DRS now. You should be able to get him. Let's see what you can do. You are on the hard compound tyres compared to Zhou, is on 12 lap old mediums. We can see Tsunoda falling back a little bit from Ollie Behrman there in P12. Danny Ricciardo at the back of the pack at the moment. Not so good, not going so well for him. He did rejoin very late, so I wonder if if he had to wait for Yuki Tsunoda to have that pit stop. Also, a lot of investigations going on at the moment. The stewards are very, very busy. Magnussen and Albon are under investigation for causing a collision. So Albon was not happy with Magnussen leaving him any room whatsoever. So yeah, it's getting a bit feisty out there, guys. Getting a bit feisty. So Max sets fastest lap once again of 33.1. We have Norris in P2, Perez P3, Hamilton P4. Charles Leclerc now has his sights set on Lewis Hamilton, and Piastri is in P6. Fernando Alonso dropping a little bit further back in P7. Nico Hulkenberg is in P8. Well, I was about to say he's in P8. He's now in P9. And Ollie Behrman, go on the bear, is now in P10. He's got ahead of Guan Yu Zhou, and now he can set his sights on the hearts of Nico Hulkenberg back up into P10. And yes, that would be great if he could secure himself some points in his first race ever in F1. Go on the boy, go on the boy. But yeah, much appreciated, guys. Over 1,300 of you here in this race watch along. So big thank you. If you could hit the like button, get us to over 500 likes. Come on, over half of you can hit that like button. I know you can. I know you can. It helps push the stream. If you could subscribe as well. No further action for Lando Norris jump start. Wow. Why has he not received? Oh, okay. I'd like to see their explanation for that after the race. I'm a fan of Lando, but I don't see how you can get away with that. Evidently, he has done, but that is crazy. That is crazy that he's... I mean, he jump-started. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because they thought he didn't gain anything from it because he stopped again. But ultimately, he's jump-started, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That doesn't bode well for Perez getting a penalty either, to be honest with you. I think Perez will probably get away with it if that's how they're looking at the jump start. But we'll see. We'll see. Right, so Lewis has been overtaken by Charles down into P1. Down into turn 1. Not P1. Down into turn 1. And yeah, Lewis there accepting his fate as he's on the medium compound tyre. Be interesting to see how much those tyres starting to fall off. Of course, the Mercedes not at its strongest here this weekend. Hamilton with a 34.3 last time around. Lando's not doing too bad, though. He's sub 34 on those 14 old lap mediums. He is being closed down quickly by that of Sergio Perez, though. We'll see if Leclerc can now chase down Perez. And I'm intrigued to see how long these hard compound tyres are going to go for, because I think that was still quite early to go onto the hards. But maybe that's them committing to a 2-stop. And yeah, pitting onto the softs at the end of this race. Lando getting no penalty is crazy. I know, guys. If you haven't seen it, just go to Twitter, go online, just type in Lando. I'm sure it will be there. There'll be a clip of it somewhere. It's a slam dunk. It's a slam dunk. If that was in iRacing and I was racing on my sim racing rig, I'd get a drive-through. So Perez has got a 5-second time penalty for an unsafe release. Hallelujah. Something that is obvious to the stewards has been enforced. Thank you. That was a slam dunk. So yeah, Sergio Perez has been given a 5-second time penalty for an unsafe release. It's not his fault. It's his pit box's fault. But those are the rules. Those are the rules. And yeah, he will have to build up a 5-second gap. The thing is, though, it might be nullified. Fernando Alonso asking for plan B because they're in another league, and I think he's asking about the Ferrari and the McLarens. Norris doing very, very well at the moment. Perez still not able to close him down as much as I thought. Well, he did make up half a second last lap, so yeah, he's no Max Verstappen, is he? Sergio Perez. He was a bit quicker last time around than Max, but of course that was with the assistance of a tow from Lando. Hamilton now under attack from Oscar Piastri. So I'm intrigued to see how long the Norris and Hamilton are going to stay out there for. I can't remember what the strategy was, guys, in relation to... Let me just have a quick look. Oh, apologies if that just disappeared. Okay, so the one stopper officially suggested by Pirelli was lap 19 to 25 on the medium compound tyres. So we're still actually a little way away from that pit window opening. Well, 3 laps to be exact. But yeah, potentially we could see Norris and Hamilton here extend this medium stint to the mid-20s, mid-20 laps. And that actually would make sense because there's not really a gap at the moment for them to come in and pit. They would come out into traffic. But Bearman is now on the back of Nico Hulkenberg. Go on the Bear. Go on the Bear. He's within the DRS and Piastri has got the move done on Lewis Hamilton. Has he been able to get the move done? Has he been able? No, he hasn't. Hamilton and Piastri went side by side there through the first corner and Hamilton maintains a position from Piastri, and that's not what Piastri needed. He needed to get that move done so that he could keep up the pressure. On Charles Leclerc, as Hamilton is reporting, they're killing us on the top speed. They're killing us. As it's a 10-second time penalty. 10 seconds. Yes, all thumbs and fingers up, guys. But Magnussen, as he is given a penalty for causing a collision with Alex Albon, who was furious over the radio. So Magnussen there, currently in P12. That is really going to hurt the Haas's opportunities of scoring a point position today. They really do need a safety car or a red flag to nullify that. But go on the bear, as Perez is all over the back of Lando Norris. This move has got to be done as they have DRS open. He will have DRS open as he heads into the last corner. Will he get it done into the last corner, or will he wait for turn 1? I think he's a man who is impatient. He's just been given a 5-second time penalty. And no, Perez does wait. He does wait. I thought he might send it there. But I think this should be easy move done. DRS open as he heads down into the first corner. He needs to build up, of course, a sizable gap now with a 5-second time penalty. And there you go. DRS drafts straight past the McLaren of Lando Norris. And it is, once again, a Red Bull 1-2 with 18 laps into this race with only 33 remaining, guys. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, Ollie Behrman not able to get past Hulkenberg there, but is all over the back of him now. Just be patient, Ollie. Just be patient. Set his fastest lap of the race there as well. He will get that Haas, and he will be able to close up the gap, hopefully, on George Russell. He really seems to be in the groove. Really does seem to be in the groove, Ollie. His lap times are that of George Russell at the moment. So really good, really good. George Russell is looking at Alonso, who is, what did he do, 34.6 last time around. So we'll keep an eye out on that battle there and see if Alonso is able to close up on Russell. Piastri, after going side by side with Hamilton a couple of laps ago into turn 1, still not able to get past him. Hamilton going well. Well, I say he's going well. He's doing well considering on those medium tyres in 5th place at the moment because that car is just not a good package here this weekend, the Mercedes. But Verstappen setting fastest lap after fastest lap, guys. 5.5 seconds ahead of his teammate in P2. Lando in P3. Leclerc in 4th. He is closing up on Lando. He's making up about half a second a lap at the moment. So keep an eye out on that gap between Leclerc and Lando. We have now entered the pit window of those medium compound tyres. And as I say that, Hulkenberg has been overtaken by Ollie Behrman. Go on the bear, but Hulkenberg will have DRS again to come back at the Ferrari. And I think Behrman, little bit of inexperience there, probably should have just lifted and waited to have that DRS down the main straight and get the move done, as Hulkenberg, the wiry old fox that he is, has been able to let Behrman past and regain that position for at least another lap. Ollie Behrman, of course, getting excited, probably in a Ferrari, closing up on another F1 car in front of him. Should have, just that DRS there into the last corner is not. It's not really it's not really the move you want to go for because of having DRS, because of that car then having the overtaking car having it then for the not having a DRS for the next corner. It leaves them at a disadvantage. Of course, we saw the DRS games we played, didn't we, a couple of years ago between Verstappen and Leclerc. So Hamilton, once again, still holding off Piastri, doing really well here, but Piastri does look like he's a lot closer, less than half a second behind Hamilton. And I think this is what Piastri is kind of struggling with at the moment. Doesn't want to go for a move into the last corner because then it leaves him vulnerable down into turn 1. Or I say that, Piastri's gone, sod it. I'm slinging it up your inside and I'm trying to go for a move, and well, he wasn't able to there, but he still has DRS. He might have put Hamilton out of position here. It's the McLaren. Is he going to be able to get him on the brakes down into turn 1? No, but Piastri is trying. He is trying everything that he can, and this is just kind of holding up and ruining Piastri's race at the moment because he probably does have the pace to close up on Charles Leclerc, who is closing up on his teammate Lando Norris. Just 1.3 seconds behind Norris now, closing in on that DRS. Oof. Lando going to go for a one-stopper, yes, as well as Hamilton, Hulkenberg and Guan Yu Zhou. So we're in that pit stop window now of the medium compound tyre being coming off of that. I think I'd be surprised if those guys could take that hard compound to the end of the race. But we'll see. Oh no, Magnussen's in the thick of it again. incident at turn 4 involving cars number 20, Magnussen, and Tsunoda leaving the track and gaining an advantage. So I don't know who that is for, but I don't know who's at fault there. But yeah, evidently Magnussen not happy at the moment behind the wheel of that Haas, guys. At the wheel of that Haas. Ollie Behrman, come on, Ollie. Come on, Ollie. He's closing in on Nico Hülkenberg. Guys, if you could hit the like button, be much appreciated, as I've just whacked my ankle. If you could hit the like button, get us to over 500 likes again, that'd be amazing. We have nearly, we have 1,800 of you in here. So, yes, we're probably going to hit that 2K mark again. So, yeah, thank you for everyone who's tuning back in for this watch along. It's much appreciated. And, of course, if you can help support the channel further by becoming a member, it really helped me. And, I love doing these for you. So, Ollie Behrman gets the move done down into turn 1. Learned from his lap, a couple of laps previously. Waited and got the move done down into turn 1. Now, this I'm interested to see. He seems to be growing in a bit of confidence. Let's see how Behrman can close the gap. Keep an eye on his lap times and see if he can close the gap to Russell and Alonso. He's in P9. We know points is a great result for him, but if he can close... I mean, he's already pulling away from Nico Hülkenberg there in that first sector. Let's see if he can close the gap on George Russell and Alonso, who are also on the same amount of hard compound tyres and amount of laps covered as well. This will be a great benchmark for him, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he gets on. Max takes softs on the end for the fastest lap. Yeah, probably, Renee, probably. But Hamilton once again holding off Piastri here. Piastri struggling to get past that of Hamilton. Hamilton's not doing too bad really on those medium compound tyres. He's only about a tenth or so, and there's another 10-second time. Oh my god, we've got a new meme, guys. We've got a new meme. Magnussen has got 20 seconds worth of time penalties already. He's got another 10-second time penalty. Penalty for Magnussen. It was penalty for Ocon. It's now penalty for Magnussen. 20 seconds. We're not even halfway through this race, and he's got 20 seconds worth of time penalties. Oh my god. Was it Saudi Arabia where Ocon had all those penalties, or was it Bahrain? It was Bahrain, wasn't it? I can't remember where he had all those penalties, but wow. Yeah, Kevin Magnussen. He should go for 30 just for the bants. Just for the bants. Go on, Magnussen. Please just get 30. Ocon is relieved that he ain't the one who got the penalties. Yeah, he's hoping that the memes will go towards. We will start saying Magnussen now. Wow, 20. That's fair play to the stewards though. They've given him 10 seconds. They haven't given him 5 seconds. They've given him 10 seconds. So yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see it being enforced. So yes, Verstappen and Perez out front. Those two Red Bulls in a league of their own, as we know. Verstappen slightly quicker than his teammate at the moment. We know Perez is strong here, but Verstappen definitely has the better of Perez. Lando Norris in P3, yet to pit. Charles Leclerc closing him down. I thought we'd close him down a bit sooner. He is now about to be in the DRS under that 1 second range of Norris there, as he does just under braking. It's kind of teetering on the edge there, so we should see an attack soon. Hamilton in 5th, still holding off Oscar Piastri, and I'm surprised about that the McLaren hasn't been able to dispatch Hamilton, considering they went side by side only a few laps ago into that first corner. Alonso not really able to keep up with the pace of Piastri and Hamilton in front. He does now have George Russell closing him down like Charles Leclerc, just outside of that DRS range at the moment. Ollie Behrman pulling out a gap on Nico Hülkenberg. So last time around, Ollie Behrman with no toe in clean air did a 34.5 and Russell did a 34.2. So to put that in comparison, Behrman now lapping the same lap time as around Hamilton and Piastri, up in 5th and 6th. Great lap times there from Behrman. Keep it up, buddy. Keep it up. Nico Hülkenberg in 10th. Guan Yu Zhou up 9 positions in 11th. Those two still yet to pit as well. They're on an alternative strategy, where they've stuck to that they've stuck to that one-stop strategy that the others went away from, I believe. I mean, are we going to see the hard compound tyre go to the end of the race? I mean, that's a long way to take the hard compound tyre. That's over 40 laps, because the safety car came out on lap 8, I think it was. And it's getting very tight there with Magnussen, who has a 20-second time penalty to take, guys. Yes, if you're just tuning in, you didn't hear that wrong. 20 seconds for 2 separate incidents, one with Alex Albon and one with Yuki Tsunoda. He is, currently in P12 and going to lose a lot of positions, probably to the end of the pack. And Danny Ricciardo is fighting with Bottas there at the back of the field. We have Albon and Sargent. Ocon in the mid. I don't expect that's where Ocon expected to be this season, fighting for 13th position. In the middle of a train there, as Bottas gets overtaken by Danny Ricciardo at the back of the field. And to be honest with you, I thought the RB cars would be a lot quicker than they were or have been thus far in the first 2 races of the season. So yeah, but Verstappen and Perez there. Verstappen just sent purple after purple after purple lap. Perez close behind him, but not close enough. So yeah, Hamilton once again still holding off Piastri. And yeah, I think, well, we said lap 25 was the end of the suggested pit window for the medium compound runners. So we'll see if they are going to come in and pit, or if they're just goal hanging for a safety car. We will see. 6-second gap between first and second is crazy, Grant. Yes, it is. It is. Ricciardo not showing enough oomph. Yeah, the way he's going at the moment, he's not going to end up... He's not really showing anything in his first 2 races, but he's the man to take over that seat from Perez. But it's a long season, 24 races, so anything can happen. What's up with Leclerc? Please just let him have the podium. There's nothing wrong with Leclerc. He is the 3rd fastest car. He is the 3rd fastest car, let's be honest. He will get Norris at some point. He's been on a hard compound tyre compared to Norris's mediums. He has to probably make these tyres try and go to the end, so he can't push as hard as he would like to. So it's just biding his time to overtake Lando Norris. So Magnussen finally gets overtaken by Yuki Tsunoda there, and Magnussen regains the position. Is that going to be another? I have no idea what's going to happen. Let's see if Magnussen gets issued another 10-second time penalty there. We will see. He's already got 2. But yeah, no, Leclerc will get Norris. He's just been biding his time to close down that gap. We'll expect the medium compound runners to pit very, very soon. They may even pit this lap. There are gaps forming now, so we'll see. Yeah, just listening to Sky, and they are reporting, yeah, I think the medium runners are trying to extend their stint as long as possible to build up a gap. So, yeah, I think we're going to see these medium runners, Hamilton and Norris, be in a good position towards the end of this race. They're reporting Hamilton moving under braking. Interesting. We'll see if that was the case. Here we go. Charles Leclerc a lot closer to Lando Norris now. DRS open. Is he going to have an opportunity to overtake him down into T1? No. Just thinks better of it. But that's all getting very close there, isn't it? In the middle pack there of Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon and Sargent. It seems like Albon's got a run on Ocon here. Is he going to have a move? DRS open? No. They're all getting bunched up as they head into turn 27 with that Constantina effect. So here they go again. I can see Magnussen, the way he's driving at the moment, Magnussen causing a crash and bringing out a red flag. Here we go. Tsunoda's going to have another opportunity down into T1. Keep an eye out on this battle, because this could be the fight here that brings out a safety car or a red flag, guys, as Magnussen holds onto the position once again. They're all very, very close there. And I just see something happening. I see something happening before this race is out, before this race is done in that pack, that is going to cause a crash and bring out a red flag. Mystic Stuffy, something's going to happen. We need to talk about Lance. Is he going to get back on track, or is he going to retire? Joel. We all know what's going to happen. As long as his dad still owns the team, he will be there. If his dad lives to 100 and Lance Stroll is 50 years old, he will still be driving that Aston Martin car. Unless Lance decides to step away from it himself, which doesn't look like he's going to. There have been rumours there have been numerous rumours. I'm just watching the Magnussen-Tsunoda fight at the moment. Oh my God, Alex Albon nearly ran straight into the back of the Ocon. I tell you, the way I'm watching it on TV, Magnussen, that fight there of Magnussen-Tsunoda, Ocon and Albon and Sargent is going to bring out a safety car. Something is going to happen, as Leclerc has now got past Lando Norris, so we'll see if Leclerc can push on and potentially close down a gap to Perez. He's got a tall order ahead of him, 7 seconds, or 8, just under 8 seconds, or 8 seconds now to catch up to that Red Bull, so we will see. Here they go again then. Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon, Sargent down into turn 1. Is anyone close enough to have an opportunity? Not sure this time around, but yeah, they're getting very, very close there, so stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. No one's catching Max. No one's catching Max. Unfortunately, he's too good. He's too good. That whole package is, is too good at the moment. Hamilton still holding off Piastri, which is interesting, as we said. Hamilton trying to extend as long as possible, and Piastri just seems to be, he's quite content just to sit behind Hamilton now and eke out these tyres. I think the hard compound tyres are definitely trying to take them to the end of this race. It's a long way to go on these hards, so we'll see if that is the case for them. Let's keep an eye out on Behrman. How's his lap times? Lapping the same pace as that of George Russell ahead of him and Alonso. Great going by Behrman. Great going. This is a nice stage of the race for him, as we're about to, as we've just crossed the halfway mark, guys. 23 laps remaining. So yeah, only 50 laps in this race. Behrman, a nice opportunity now just to open track ahead of him and just focus on his lap times, hitting his apexes. And I'm sure he will close up that gap to Alonso and Russell, who at some point in this race are going to fight. Is it Max or the car that's putting him so much? It's a combination of the two, Elizabeth, because Perez is in the same car and he's 7 seconds behind Max. So some drivers are much better than others, and that's throughout the course of history. And when they're put in the same machinery, that excellence shows and shines through. Max is definitely one of those drivers who is one of the best where everyone has ever seen. Whatever you think of the man, you can't deny that he is a talented individual. And when you put the car and the machinery under drivers like that, you see the results that we do. So Hamilton had enough with Mercedes. He's going to Ferrari. Yeah, he has. He hasn't got the time on his hands to wait around for Mercedes to get their act together, guys. I can see why he's moving to Ferrari. So, the race kind of spreading out a little bit at the moment, guys. Seems to be Charles Leclerc not able to keep up with the pace of the two Red Bulls. Of course, Verstappen faster than his teammate by about 3 tenths a lap. Perez is then around 3 tenths a lap faster than Charles Leclerc. And Lando Norris sticking in the toe quite nicely with Charles Leclerc. He hasn't dropped too far back from Charles. And Lewis still holding off Piastri. So we'll wait to see what these medium compound runners do. They're extending their stint as long as possible, and that's where then things might get interesting, is when they come in and pit. Have they formed a gap yet? So Hamilton 23 seconds behind the leader. I mean, he could come out. I think there is a pit window. Between him and Magnussen at the moment, as Tsunoda goes past Magnussen down into the first corner. Let's see if anything happens here, because Magnussen's not letting it up easy as they go side by side through the first corner. Is anything going to happen? And Tsunoda really has to check up there, and he's lost positions. Tsunoda has lost a couple of positions there to Magnussen and Ocon. Well, he gained it from Magnussen, and he's now back behind Ocon. I'm telling you, something is going to happen between that. I was waiting for the yellow flag to come out, but something has happened there between Tsunoda that's caused him to lose positions there, not only to Magnussen after gaining it down into the first corner, but to Ocon as well. Is that another 10-second time penalty for Magnussen? He's already got 2 of them. Let's see what happened on the TV coverage. So Magnussen slightly locked up into the last corner. That gave a run for Yuki, who has DRS enabled. And here he goes. Just watching it. He got the move done down into the first corner. Magnussen came back at him round the outside. Oh, to be fair, that's good racing. Oh, that's good racing, to be fair. That is good racing from Magnussen. Credit to him. He's had some troubles. He's had some troubles. And this is now going to be Danny Ricciardo joining the back of this fight as well, and Valtteri Bottas. And we are going to have 6 cars in this fight. Something's going to happen. Please happen. Please, something happen. Looks like we're going to hurt Dustin Johnson throughout the season. Yeah. Right, yeah, guys, if you could hit the like button, we have over 2,200 of you here in the stream once again for the 2nd week in a row. Thank you very much. Half of you can hit that like button. Come on, less than half of you can hit that like button. Let's get it to 1,000 likes. Come on, it really does help the channel, helps the stream, and if you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button as well, because yeah, we'll be doing these all season, guys, all season. So Yuki Tsunoda there. Yuki Tsunoda unfortunately kind of left Magnussen a bit too much room there. I think Tsunoda's complaining about dangerous driving, but it is racing. It is racing. So, but yeah, still really, really close between that lot there. Keep an eye on it. Hamilton still holding off Piastri. 30 laps now on these medium compound tyres. Hamilton and Norris going really well. This strategy could work out well for him, and we could see a charge from Hamilton and Norris at the end of this race. Let's see. Let's see. Yuki will end up 11th. His favourite position, yeah? Perez is basically making sure that his car is slow so that Max can win. You can think that if you like. You can think that if you like. Matt's just too fast for everyone else. Seems like the Vettel era repeats. Well, yeah, I mean, it's more dominant than any era we have ever seen. So let's keep an eye on that fight. Every single time they go down into turn 1, I'm just waiting for that safety car to be brought out, guys. Just waiting for that safety car. There they go. Constantina down into T1, and Magnussen's still holding them off. Still holding them off. Hey Veronica, good to see ya. Good to see ya. So Hamilton there. So let's have a run down through the grid. So we have Verstappen in P1, Perez P2, Leclerc P3, Lando Norris and Hamilton in 4th and 5th. Hamilton being chased down by Piastri though, who has already made his pit stop on the hard compound tyre. We have Alonso 4 seconds behind in 7th, with Russell just sitting behind in that window, just eking out his tyres at the moment with 19 laps remaining. We have Ollie Behrman, who's doing really, really good in the points, lapping the same lap times as George Russell in front. Considering it's his first F1 race and he was only chucked into an F1 car, or that F1 car yesterday, is a great, great testament to him at the moment, the way he's been driving. Nico Hulkenberg in 10th. Guan Yu Zhou in 11th at the moment, and then we have the train that is gonna give us some exciting at the end of this race. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. Magnussen, who already has a 20-second time penalty, 2 separate 10-second time penalties dished out to him, is in P12. Ocon 13th, Tsunoda 14th, Albon 15th. Sargent 16th, Ricciardo 17th, Bottas 18th, but will that order change as they head down into the first corner again? Let's see, DRS open. Magnussen seems to just be able to hold them off as they head down into that first corner. Maybe Ocon just not really trying to force things at the moment and just hold station, and no one is going for a move. I'm still intrigued to see, guys. Let me just thank you very, very much for all of the subscriptions, guys. I'm going to turn off the noise so that you can hear my beautiful dulcet tones. Hamilton, I'm intrigued to see when Hamilton and Norris are going to pit, because they are on 31-lap-old mediums, guys. So I think they're going to be going to the soft compound tyre. They've got to be. They're not going to be going to the hard. They're not going to be going to the hard compounds. But yeah, they have to pit soon. They have to pit soon. They're maybe just goal hanging for a safety car or a red flag, but it's not coming yet. It's not coming, but we still have 18 laps remaining. I feel like Ollie's wasted his time in F2. He clearly has an amazing opportunity to show off his talent and get a spot on the grid. Well, to be honest, you have to take what you dealt with, Joel. He is only 18 years old. It's his 2nd year in F2, and he is a Ferrari driver. So I think, to be honest, I think one of the Haas drivers will leave next year, whether that be Hulkenberg or Magnussen. And I think with their relationship with Ferrari, I think we'll see Ollie Bearman in that seat next year. He's truly a talent, and I think he'll have like I think he will have a George Russell-esque route through F1, like journey, where he'll go to a lower team like Haas, ply his trade there for a few years, and then once Hamilton leaves and retires from F1, which will probably be 2, 3, 4 years, he'll then step up into that Ferrari. And Albon has overtaken Tsunoda down into the first corner there. So Tsunoda, who was looking at being the front of that pack only a few laps ago, is now down into 15th and is the biggest loser, other than Lance Stroll and Gasly, of course, who have retired from this race, is the biggest loser of positions thus far today. He is in 15th position. So yeah, not able to make it stick around Magnussen. Of course, Magnussen will have to give up positions. That 20-second time penalty will be dished out at the end of this race, or it will be served in his next pit stop. So he will definitely lose those positions at some point. But we'll see what happens. I guess likewise he's hoping for he's also hoping for a safety car or something to happen behind him so that he can serve that penalty and then serve it in the pits during that safety car period, and then he's still on the back of the guys ahead. Where if he did that now, of course, his race is over and done with. But how long is it until Max is going to catch up this pack? That might make things a bit interesting as well. Lewis still needs to pit. Lewis still needs to pit, and Hulkenberg comes into the pits, the first of those medium runners who stayed out on those mediums when the safety car came out earlier on, around lap 8, I think it was. So yes, we'll see if the likes of Hamilton or Norris are going to as well. I'm not so sure. I think they're just trying to eke it out, and will they go on the softs? Because the softs do go off quite quickly here. They probably need to make it to about lap 10 on these medium compounds. That's 40 laps on the mediums if they wait for the soft tyres on lap 10. But Hulkenberg comes out ahead of Magnussen there, so he'll be on fresh rubber. He's come out on the hard, so Hulkenberg is on the hard compound tyre. Hamilton, Piastri all over the back of him now. Surely this is Piastri ready to make a move if he's got the grip out of the last corner. So here we go. Piastri is definitely going to get Hamilton here down into the first corner, unless Hamilton is coming into the pit lane, which he's not. So Piastri, DRS open. This is the first time in a good long time that Piastri has made a move on Hamilton, and he's now got that done nice and easy, I think. No, once again he hasn't. Hamilton has been able to maintain that position from Piastri, and Piastri is just not able to overtake Hamilton down into T1. That's the second or third time he's tried it now, and Lewis still showing that he does have that will-to-will action and will-to-will know-how to maintain that position. But great to see. Maybe a little bit too much respect paid by Piastri there to Hamilton. Let's keep an eye out on the replay. I'll report back to you guys exactly what happened as they went down into the first corner. Maybe Piastri went a bit long. Of course, very easy to go long down into the first corner. So here we go. Piastri had DRS open. Got the move done. And yes, he locked up. So Piastri did lock up. He overshot the corner, and Hamilton just drove straight back past him. But so no will-to-will racing there from Lewis that time. But still, he showed earlier on that he still has the will-to-will know-how. Oh, come on, guys. Someone give us a safety car, something. Right, so Piastri, here we go. DRS. Let's see if he can have another opportunity. He seems to be a little bit further back than he was last time around. And, yeah, he's definitely not going to be able to close up the gap there. Magnussen doing a great job holding back. Yes, he is, Tommy. Magnussen's, well, he has a 20-second... he has a 20-second time penalty, doesn't he? But Ollie Bearman, guys, is closing up slightly on Russell and Alonso, I think, or maybe not. I think Russell's trying to get a move on now. He set his fastest lap of the race last time around, so this is now where Russell is starting to smell a bit of blood and close down on the Aston Martin of Alonso. He's been just tidily sitting behind Alonso around 1.5 to 1.6 seconds for the majority of the second stint of this race. But Ollie Bearman lapping comfortably in the low 33s. Great performance from him. There are lots and lots of track limits, by the way. Lots and lots of track limits at the moment as well from being enforced. So maybe there'll be some penalties at the end of this race. What do the numbers indicate, Shami? Well, so we have the difference, of course, the positions gained and lost there. We have the gap to the leader, the interval from the car in front of them. We have the DRS, of course. Then we have sector 1, 2, and 3 times. Then we have their last lap, and then we have how many pit stops they've made, and then we have the tyres that they're on, the hard or medium compound or soft, and then the amount of laps they've done on those tyres. So, yes, the fact Hamilton now into the pits. Hamilton comes in, lap 37, with 14 laps remaining into the pits. So, where is he going to come out? Hamilton is definitely going to come out behind Bearman. Let's see. So, yeah, big gap there for him. Big gap. That was 36 laps on those medium compound tyres. That was very long. Is he going to be on the hards? Is he going to take those hards to the end of this race? He's on used softs. So Hamilton's gone bold and he's on used softs. So he'll be quick, but those softs do go off quick as well. So we'll see if he's able to push now. And let's see if he's able to get ahead of Lando as well. So Lando's surely got to respond to Lewis Hamilton pitting here, because otherwise he's going to probably lose with that difference. Hamilton might be able to do some sort of an under. I don't think Hamilton's going to make up too much time on those softs compared to Norris in one lap. If he pits now, if he stays out for an extra lap, maybe Hamilton will be able to, but we'll see. But yeah, I think they've all kind of goal hanged for a safety car, and it hasn't happened. It hasn't come about, not yet anyway. What will screw Hamilton over now is if there is a safety car. That will be Hamilton's luck, is that a safety car will come out now, or a red flag, and yeah, he's just goal hanged for that free pit stop, and then it arrives after he's made his pit stop. So yeah. Max with soft will pass Checo. So Max, not setting the fastest lap. So Lando does respond, guys. Lando does respond as Perez now has the fastest lap of the race, 32.2. Max won't be too happy about that. So Lando is going to come out ahead of Hamilton. Is he? Oh my God. Hamilton's actually going to do the undercut on Lando, or he's going to be on the he's behind. Oh, that was close. That was very close. And well, Norris going onto the hard compound tyre. So quite evidently, two different strategies here at the end of the race. I'm not sure if Lewis will be able to take these softs to the end of the race at the pace he's doing. We'll see. But yeah, Lando nearly got undercut there by Hamilton, who's out on a set of softs. But for him to take softs to the end here, he's got to do 14 laps on them. I don't think you can push for 14 laps. That's the problem. I'm Broadbent's twin. I'm Broadbent's much better looking twin. I'll let you know. You're the second person who's actually... You're not second person. A couple of people have compared me to Jimmy Broadbent. Red Bull is going to win again, Cactus. Yes, they are. We're in a very dominating period of F1. So, yeah, unless the FIA do something to peg them back, like they have done other cars in the past, we are going to see more of the same this year. But yeah, Magnussen, I'm disappointed. I thought we'd get a safety car at the end of this, towards the end of this race. There's still time, 12 laps remaining. But yeah, Magnussen, Ocon, Albon, Tsunoda, Sargent, Ricciardo's kind of spreading out a little bit now. Which isn't doing great. But Hamilton on the back of Norris as he takes fastest lap of the race on a set of soft compound tyres. And actually, apologies, Norris is on a set of softs as well. He's not on the hards. That was a mistake by the telemetry there. So we do have Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton going at it on soft compound tyres at the end of this race. And, well, will they be able to catch that of Ollie Bearman, who is on 31 old lap hards? And if they're able to continue the pace that they are, there was a second a lap quicker there last time. Lewis Hamilton and, well, Lando purple in the first sector as well. So this is a bit of fighting at the end of this race, guys, between Lando and Hamilton, which the second phase of this race we haven't really seen too much of, other than Magnussen defending from the likes of Ocon and Tsunoda. Has Max boxed? Yes, everyone on the hard compound tyre has boxed. The only person who is yet to make a pit stop is Guan Yu Zhou, who is on 38-lap-old medium tyres. He's in P10 at the moment. Probably he's going to try and take those as long as possible. He is goal hanging, of course, for a safety car and a free pit stop, because otherwise he is definitely going to drop down positions. So Guan Yu Zhou will stay out there. Maybe he will bring out a safety car, guys, because of staying out on those tyres so long. 38 laps thus far. He's definitely going to take those as long as he possibly can to the end of this race. But Hamilton now with DRS as he heads down the start-finish straight. Not close enough to have a go on Lando at the moment. Ooh, nearly, and he holds on for another lap, Lando, as they continue to close up that gap on Ollie Behrman. Guys, over 3,000 of you in the stream. Thank you very much. If you could hit the subscribe button, if you haven't already, and if you could get the stream to over 1,000 likes, that'd be much appreciated. We've only got 324 likes at the moment. Come on, guys, hit the thumbs up button, please. If I'm doing a good job and you're enjoying it here and you're going to come back for the rest of the season, please hit the like button, because, yeah, it helps. Believe it or not, it helps push the stream and continue to grow this community that we've built here over the last couple of years. So big thank you. And as I say that, Lando Norris has been reported for weaving on the straight. Wow, sorry if I just blew into the mic there. I do forget about that. Yeah, that is that's not great there. That's not great. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. He's been incident for weaving on the straight. I think that's normally just a warning if they deem that to be the case. But Hamilton there has just dropped out of the DRS of Lando Norris, as Lando keeps setting the purple first sector, and as was the case yesterday in qualifying, Hamilton struggling in the dirty air in that first sector where they've been poor all weekend. If Max wins, you're unsubscribing. Don't do that. He won't win every race this year. I can guarantee you he won't win every race this year. It's 24 races. There will be a race this year where he doesn't win. Because he'll just decide not to turn up to one of them. I said before, someone in the hotel that he stays in just needs to serve him some dodgy chicken the night before, you know, so he can't get off the toilet. But yeah, thank you for all the subs, guys, much appreciated. Still only 454 likes. Come on, guys. I know I sound like a broken record, but over 3,000 of you in here, over 20,000 views. Yeah, 1,000 likes is the target. Who will win the race? Fernando Alonso. But yeah, at the moment, guys, so let's have a rundown of the grid as it stands with less than 10 laps remaining. So we have Verstappen in P1, 8.6 seconds ahead of his teammate Sergio Perez, who does always like it here. Of course, he got stuck behind Charles Leclerc a little bit earlier on in the race, which has robbed us really of any potential of a fight between Verstappen and Perez. Not that I expect there would be ever one between those two, but you know, ifs and buts. Charles Leclerc in third, Piastri in fourth, a good drive from him today. Alonso in fifth, holding off George Russell at the moment, who surely must be trying to make a move and get that top five for the Mercedes. And we have Ollie Behrman, his first ever race in F1, currently in P7, up 4 positions. He is being chased down by Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton on a set of soft compound tyres. They do currently have a 6/10 advantage over Ollie Behrman, so they will catch him. We'll see that fight probably in the next few laps. Keep an eye out on that, but a great performance from him thus far. Nico Hulkenberg in P10 now, as Guan Yu Zhou now finally pits 41-lap-old medium tyres. Goal hanging for that safety car that unfortunately is not going to arrive for him as he drops to the bottom of the standings. Magnussen in 11th with a 20-second time penalty to take, guys, at the end of this race. 2 separate incidents where he's been dished out 10-second time penalties for driving standards. Esteban Ocon in P12, not too bad considering the Alpines have already had a car retire of Gasly on the first lap, and they've just been generally poor, the Alpines. Albon in 13th, Tsunoda 14th, 5 positions down at the moment. Sargent in 15th, and then we have Danny Ricciardo in 16th, and the 2 stake F1 team drivers in 17th and 18th. And then we know Stroll binned it, which brought out the safety car earlier by him clipping the wall and breaking his front left suspension. And then Ferrari are actually reporting in 4 laps that Behrman will be caught. So stay tuned for that. We'll maybe see Behrman have an opportunity to try and defend from Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. So let's see what will happen there. Of course, he's got a massive tyre disadvantage compared to Norris and Hamilton. Hamilton fastest middle sector last time around. Don't think he has enough to overtake Lando. His best opportunity is probably to try and sneak up the inside or overtake and take advantage of Norris and Behrman potentially going side by side in a few laps' time. Lance should retire at this point. I agree. He should have gone a long time ago. Sauce will start falling off in the final laps, though. They will, however, the difference is that Behrman is on 35 old lap hards. That's a long time on the hards. I think they're still going to have enough of a tyre advantage at the end of this race over those hards. If the hards were like 10 laps younger than they are at the moment, I think he probably would have enough to hold on. But at the moment, you can see there that the last lap from Lando and Hamilton was a 32.0 and a 32.2, and Behrman is 4 tenths slower. So you also have to remember Behrman, this is his first ever F1 race, so he is slightly off the pace of those in front of him, but not by too much. He's still lapping around the same as Russell. He keeps asking, where are they? Where are they? Come on, lad, head down. Come on. As much as I'm a Brit and I'm a fan of Norris and I'm a fan of Lewis, of course, as you can tell from the helmet and the poster here, I want Ollie Behrman here. This is 3 Brits in 3 different F1 teams, in 3 different cars on an F1 grid. And I want Behr. I love a little bit of an underdog. I know he's in a Ferrari. I love a bit of an underdog. And I want Behrman to hold on to this. What a story it will be. And yeah, hopefully we'll see him in F1 next year. Max has a major advantage, but it's his car. He does. But he's also a great driver. And the best drivers get the best cars. That's F1. If you don't like it, go elsewhere. Learn a bit of history. Michael Schumacher earned the best car. Lewis Hamilton earned the best car. So did Sebastian Vettel. So has Max. So did Fernando Alonso. The best drivers end up in the best teams, in the best cars. It's just how it is. So, and if you don't have the machinery, you're never going to win. So that's how it is. That's how it is. So the best wins. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. So some drivers end up with the best car when they're not necessarily the best driver. But yeah, generally the cream rises to the top in F1, especially when it comes to World Championships. Anyway, so you can argue that, of course, the cream doesn't always rise to the top when it comes to the F1 grid because people pay for their positions on the grid. And there's always commercial decisions and connections there. But I think generally when it comes to fighting for World Championships and having World Championships, the cream rises to the top. So something unexpected is going to happen soon. I hope so, but I don't see where it's going to happen. That's the thing. Unless Hamilton and Norris can't tangle together. The gaps are a little bit too far now. We needed another safety car. The safety car has come out, or we needed that safety car to come out a bit earlier, just a few laps earlier, because the fact that these guys are able to take these hard compound tyres 90% of the race distance is, yeah, I've never been a fan of that. I've never been a fan of Pirelli bringing tyres that can do a full race distance if required. These drivers probably could take these hard compound tyres the whole race if they wanted to. So yeah, I don't like that. It removes the variables and removes the fun of strategy and stuff like that. So yeah, Hamilton is definitely out of his prime. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, when is anyone going into their 40s ever in their prime in any sport? Never. But sportsmen are still able to perform to a very high standard, and they're able to. Sometimes drivers don't need to perform to their prime, or sportsmen don't need to perform to their prime standards to be able to win tournaments and to win races, etc. So Behrman is racing his heart out on those halves to fend off Norris and Hamilton. I know he has 5 laps remaining. 5 laps remaining, and Norris is 3 seconds behind him at the moment. Lewis is just like sitting behind Norris and knows they're going to catch Behrman, and he's in a prime position here. Come on, Behrman. Come on. Likes in the chat, guys, for Behrman. Like the stream if you want to see Ollie Behrman hold off Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton here. Over 500 likes. That's amazing. Thank you very much. But we have 3,000 of you in the stream. Hit the like button. Get it to over 1,000. My first ever 1,000k stream. I've never had a 1k like stream. But 3,000 viewers, though, is nearly my best ever amount of viewership. So, yeah, a big thank you. We increased. It's more than 1,000 of you here than there was last week. So, big thank you. Yeah, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Curious how things will change with the new regulation hits. Hopefully it brings everyone closer, Jimmy. Hopefully it brings everyone closer. The cars are going to be slightly smaller. There are a few aero changes. Primarily it's still ground effect concepts. The cars are going to be slightly smaller though in length and width. And then of course the big thing is of course the change in engine regulations. So if someone buggers up their engine, then yeah, they'll be suffering for they'll be on the back foot. So come on, Behrman. Yes, Phils. Yes, come on, Behrman. So 2.6 seconds now, Lando to Behrman. Come on, buddy. Come on. 4 laps remaining. You can do this. I don't think they're catching. So we're starting to see that tyre delta get closer and closer and closer to being matching. Who said in the comment? Who said in the chat? Apologies if I forgot your name. You said that Behrman, the soft tyres might not last to the end of this race, and you may be right. If Behrman doesn't make any mistakes, I think we're seeing that tyre delta pretty much nullified, because last time around Norris did a 32.5 and Behrman did a 32.7 and Hamilton did a 33.0. Of course, Hamilton is just posturing himself and positioning himself behind Norris, but he has actually fallen behind out of that DRS of Lando at the moment. Maybe he's just dropping back to recharge the battery as he's able to do with that extra tow that Norris is providing him at the moment, and use it in these last couple of laps, because we have 3 laps remaining as Verstappen is going through that field, and unfortunately spread that field of Magnussen, Ocon, Tsunoda, Sargent and Ricciardo there. Russell's still not able to close up on Fernando Alonso, which is interesting. So up the front, really, it's a bit boring at the moment, guys, and I don't see any change at the front. That is going to be your top 6 unless Alonso really does lose it to Russell with only a couple of laps remaining. But the fight is between Behrman, Norris and Hamilton. 2.3 seconds there now. 2.4 seconds, sorry, between Behrman and Norris. A 32.5 from Behrman and a 32.1 from Norris and Hamilton. So another 4 attempts taken away from him. But Behrman does just seem to be able to, I don't know. It's one thing to catch, it's another thing to overtake. That's the thing, guys. That's the thing. Come on, Behrman. Come on, you can do this. A P7 would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm not responding to your comments, just commentating non-stop. I'm trying. I do. I'm trying. There's a lot of comments that come through. There's over 3,000 of you in the stream. Who has the fastest lap, Eco? Lando, I think, has the fastest lap at the moment. It's either Lando or Hamilton, because they're on the soft compound tyre. I can't remember who actually holds it. I think it's Lando. I think he took it away from Hamilton. Hamilton's car is not up to the mark this season. Not at the moment. No, the Mercedes is definitely off the pace compared to the Red Bull. Everyone's off the pace compared to the Red Bull. I think the only team that has prospect in regards to closing that development gap is Ferrari, because they have that 1 lap pace. But when it comes over to a race distance, the Red Bull is still supreme. Right, so 2.4 seconds. Come on, Behrman. There's 2 laps remaining. You can do it. You can do it. I think potentially now we might see Hamilton just go for the move, because I don't think they're going to catch Behrman, as Behrman did his fastest lap of the race of 32.2. Good boy. Good boy. So I think Hamilton now will probably make a charge on Norris because they're not going to catch Bearman. Let's see if the two Brits, the youngster of Lando and the elder statesman and experience of Hamilton, is he going to be able to stay close? But he's not. He's dropped out of DRS there through the first sector where the Mercedes has been very, very poor all weekend. Let's hear we're not hearing the Mexican national anthem for a little while, Swiss. Not while Max Verstappen is about, that's for sure. Chances of Hamilton winning this year. He needs the Red Bulls. I think everyone needs the Red Bulls to not turn up for a weekend, unfortunately, guys. They just do have the supreme package. And look, I credit to Perez. This is going to be the second 1-2 for Red Bull in a row. I thought Perez would struggle again this year, but he definitely seems to be... he definitely seems to be pretty good. 2 P2s in a row, only to Max. It's what Red Bull want of him. It's what Red Bull want of him, and it's what he's doing. And if he continues to drive like this all season, he will maintain that seat for next year. So, driver of the day, Bearman. Yeah, we'll do driver of the day after this, guys. We are on the final lap of the race as Max Verstappen has an 8-second lead over his teammate. And, well, once again, if we ignore Perez because it's 2 Red Bulls at the start, at the finish here, leading 1-2, there's 18 seconds between Verstappen and Leclerc. But as Verstappen is finishing this lap, guys, if you could hit the like button, 3,500 of you in this stream. 400 of you haven't hit that like button to get it to 1,000. Come on, there's 400 of you in here, guys, who can hit the like button and get us to over 1,000 likes. It'd be much, much appreciated if you can. My first ever 1,000 liked stream as Verstappen comes round the last corner, guys, and he is your Saudi Arabian Grand Prix winner in 2024. Sergio Perez is going to cross the line in P2. That's the second 1-2 of Verstappen and Perez of the year. We are only 2 races into this 2024 season. We have Leclerc coming across in P3. Unfortunately, Ferrari best of the rest at the moment as Leclerc still fastest lap. That extra point at the end there from Lando Norris, I believe it was, who was on the soft compound tyres. And guys, Piastri comes across in P4. Alonso holds off Russell in P6, who seems to be having a bit of an issue at the end there. And Ollie Bearman, W's in the chat for Ollie Bearman, guys. His first ever F1 race, only jumped into the car yesterday. Lad who grew up down the road from me, 20 minutes down the road from where I grew up, comes in P7. What a result from Ollie Bearman. Pressurised at the end there from a chasing duo of Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, who were on soft compound tyres in 8th and 9th. What a performance from the 18-year-old. Great, great drive from him. And, well, to be honest with you guys, if Lewis wasn't moving to Ferrari next year, I would say chuck Ollie Bearman in that seat. Hopefully we see him on a grid next year. Nico Hülkenberg finishes in P10. What a result from Hülkenberg as Magnussen moves up into P12. But Magnussen is now going to drop down the pack because he will have a 20-second time penalty applied. We have Albon finishing in P11. Ocon in 13th, Tsunoda 14th, Sargent 15th, Ricciardo 16th, Bottas 17th, Zhou 18th. So the 2 Stake F1 teams were the last 2 drivers to finish in this race. And then we have Stroll, who binned it in the wall by clipping the clipping the barrier on his way into a corner. Very, very poor driver mistake from him in 19th. And Gasly, who retired at the start of the first lap, which I still don't know why he retired. Does anyone know why Gasly retired? I still don't know why Gasly retired. But, yeah, guys, over 700 likes now. Wow, that shot up. Yeah, I need less than 300 likes. I need less than 300 likes. Come on. Less than 300 likes to get us to over 1,000. You can do it. If you really enjoyed this stream, guys, hit the subscribe button as well. Turn the notifications on. We have a 2-week break now until the Australian Grand Prix, where I will have to get up very early in the morning for that Grand Prix. So, yes, for you guys, if you want to support me and if you want to see more of this and feel sorry for me getting up and doing a 4 a.m. watch along for you guys in a couple of weeks' time. Please, yeah, hit that like button, subscribe as well, and yeah. Also, if you really want to support the channel and help me, I'll be doing these all throughout the year. Join as a member as well. You get a nice little logo next to your name and stuff and emojis to use. But yeah, big thank you to everyone. Gazzy retired because of some issues to the gearbox. Sure, okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Sambit, namaste from India. Thank you, Preet. Good to see you and all the Indian viewers out there, because I do know that unfortunately India does not have a TV package available, which is shocking to me. So yeah, I'm providing that service for you guys. Max World Champion 2024. I think so. Yeah. Thank you, Mercy. Hamilton with Ferrari is going to be killer. Well, you hope so. You hope so. I think we just want more competitive racing up front. I still kind of have to say, overall, this race, guys, it was more exciting than Bahrain, but still not as exciting as it could be. That's kind of my overview of it. What do you think? What do you think? But I tell you what, let's do driver of the day. Let's do driver of the day. There are a few contenders for driver of the day. To be honest, I think there's only one man who is driver of the day. Actually, who do we think should be like? I've got 4 people I can do for driver of the day, and I think, as always, like you could say Max. Let's say Max. Go, of course, Ollie Behrman. Who else is there? Nico Hulkenberg. I think Hulk has done well. I think that's it, really. I don't think anyone else is really like worthy of driver of the day. I think it's only the 3 options. Don't you think? Don't you think? Thanks, Swiss. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Yeah, we hit over 3,500 viewers. I think that might be a PB viewership. We hit 3.2, I think, last year at the Singapore Grand Prix. So yeah, the fact of it, we had over 3,500 viewers is great. So big thank you, guys. Yep, CMS, good to see you. Hulkenberg and Behrman. Really, Hulk should have been black flagged. Why should have Hulk been black flagged, Shane? I've missed something. I think you're mistaking it for Magnussen. Magnussen is the one. Sargent did well. Yeah, I mean, you say Sargent did well. With respect to Sargent, his teammate finished 11th, just outside the points. He only gained 2 positions because of Stroll, because of retirements, and he's only finished ahead of Bottas, Joe, and Ricciardo. The 2 stake drivers weren't great. I still think Sargent's clearly underperforming in that car, but he did take tyres 42 laps. I don't know. I still think Sargent. I wasn't a fan of him being re-signed for this year. We'll see. We'll see if he's re-signed for next year. But he needs to do more. He needs to do more, because Albon can show what that car potentially is capable of. But yeah, the Williams still not quite great, but it could do a lot better in someone else's hands. Thank you for all the subs, guys. Thank you. See them flying in. I can't keep up with them all, but thank you very much. That Red Bull has no straight line speed, but Ricciardo, as such, sorry, Red Bull, RB, it always confuses me. The RB Visa Cash App corporate name on the end. Yeah, I'm not sure what was up with Ricciardo. I really don't know what was up with Ricciardo. I'm going to have to listen to the interviews afterwards. It did seem like that he came out of the pits under the safety car. He was quite far behind the pack, and I think there might have been an issue with a pit stop. Maybe when they double stacked, I don't know. But I think he lost a lot of positions in the pit, so I have to go back and have a look. And something went wrong there. But yeah, Yuki's had the better of him all weekend, so that's definitely 1-1 in regards to Yuki versus Ricciardo, I think. So yeah, they definitely need to make improvements, but I'm surprised that RB isn't quicker. I thought they were supposed to have a bit more of a closer relationship with Red Bull this year, but obviously that's not translated as well. But yeah, Leclerc there gets the extra point, guys. finishing in P3, so Max doesn't get the full 26 points this time around, only the 25, and Perez finishes in P2. So yeah, Fernando Alonso did well to hold on in 5th. Piastri, I'm surprised Piastri wasn't able to get past Hamilton as quick as he got held up by Hamilton for quite a bit, and I'm surprised at why that was. I'd be interested to hear Piastri's thoughts on that in the post-race interviews. George Russell really dropped off there at Alonso at the end. He finished 4 seconds behind Alonso. I wonder if he made a mistake while trying to close the gap on Alonso. But yeah, likewise, couldn't really get past the Aston Martin. Ollie Behrman, well, 59% of you have said Ollie Behrman is driver of the day at the moment. Over 350 votes. Max has 37%. Yeah, I mean, look, what more can you say about Max? What more can you say about him, guys? He's just, yeah, he'll be wanting to finish his interviews as quick as possible and get back home and get to playing iRacing. He was up till 4 a.m. last night playing iRacing on a controller. Woke up this morning, got online, did some more races before he left the hotel, and he's just come and won the race by 13 seconds. But yeah, once again, like we need to address the elephant in the room, really, don't we? Red Bull are just so much quicker than the other teams. Verstappen finishing 18 seconds ahead of Leclerc there. So that's with the help of a safety car. That is now 2 races that we've had this year. 22-second lead from the next 22 or 25 seconds it was to the next non-Red Bull car. Last week it was, and then this week 18 seconds. So there's an improvement there of like 5 seconds or whatever, but there was a safety car which bunched up the pack anyway. Yeah, no chance anyone would beat that Red Bull in a Merc. K-Mag should be driver of the day. Teamwork. Yeah, he got 20-second penalties as well. 20-second time penalties, Magnussen, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Everyone is miles off. This is the thing. So Ferrari quite evidently can take it to the Red Bull over a single lap. They've carried on from last year. However, when it comes to a race distance, they just don't. No one has the pace of that Red Bull. No one can go as fast as they can for as long as they can on those tyres. You could maybe argue that, I mean, the Ferrari could possibly push the Red Bull for a few laps on pace alone, but they would just kill their tyres so much quicker than the Red Bulls will. And I am impressed the way that Perez has started this year. I really did in my predictions think that he'd finish below the likes of Leclerc and like the Mercedes, the McLarens. I really thought he was going to have a shocker this year, but he is doing the job that Red Bull wanted him, finishing in P2 in the first 2 races of the year. A little bit out of position, of course, in the first couple of races in qualifying, but if he's there, that's all he needs to do, and especially to retain his seat. He made some comments in the week that which kind of like was him accepting that he's not going to be as good as Max. I think he said, yeah, I did a great lap, but I wouldn't be able to do the lap time that Max did in qualifying. So I think he's accepting of his position now, that the only way he's ever going to beat Max to a world championship is if Max has a year where he has a load of mechanical issues. But then Red Bull don't have mechanical issues because they're so far ahead. They don't need to put stress on the engine, on the car. We don't ever see issues with the gearbox or the engine. So yeah, it's just, I still think the only way we're going to see a non-Max win this year, or a non-Red Bull win this year, is if both of them get food poisoning the night before. But yeah. Wonder what the secret is. Looks like a Call of Duty score when the number one guy's 20 kills over the next guy. That's probably hacking. Yeah. But no, big thank you to everyone who's tuned in and subscribed. 807 likes, guys. If you could hit the subscribe like button still. I need less than 200 of you to get over 1,000 likes. Come on. I know I'm being a nag, but it's what we Brits do. We love to nag. So but just listening to the cool down room, if what they have to say. Not really too much to say at the moment. not really much to say. But yeah, unfortunately, this race kind of needed a second safety car, didn't it? So how much did Pirelli contribute to this race being a bit of a snooze fest again as well? Quite highly, I think. I think Pirelli need to really stop being conservative on their the selection of their compounds. How can they take these hard compound tyres 43 laps is just like bearing in mind 43 laps, and then the fastest lap of the race is done by Leclerc on 43 lap hard tyres anyway with a 31.6. Like, I just what compound of tyres? I mean, look, this is what we got at the start of the race, guys. So this is the strategies. They expected the soft tyre to go maybe 15 to 21 laps. The safety car came out lap 6, 7, and they took those tyres. Well, yeah, 7, because they came out. They did 43 laps on those tyres. I mean, that just shouldn't happen to me. I just don't think I'm all for like races, some races being one stops. But that's not. That could quite easily have been a no stop if it was allowed within the regulations. They could take those tyres a full 50 laps if need be, and that just stops any kind of intrigue with strategy and just difference in strategies as well. Like, it's just the safety car actually possibly even killed the race. Might have even killed the race, actually, now I look back at it. But Haas first team outside the top 5 teams to score points. Wow. Getting rid of Gunther worked, eh? Getting rid of Gunther worked. But let's end driver of the day. I'm going to do it because my driver, because I'm in control and I have the power, guys. I'm stopping the poll and stop the count, and Ollie Behrman wins with 49% of the vote. But yeah, it definitely did, Connor. Yeah, it definitely did. So yeah, we possibly would have seen a bit more of a mixture of strategy. Maybe. Well, I say mixture of strategy. We'd have seen guys go longer on the hard compound tyre, but a safety car there nullified the race because we've seen everyone. Well, we've seen 80% of the field go to the same tyre at the same time. As you can see there, it was only Bottas, Zhou, and Norris and Hamilton who stayed on the medium to stick to that one stop to try and goal hang for another safety car, which you do normally expect, and I really did expect one would happen or come from Magnussen, the way that he was defending and that. But yeah, no, my ears. Yeah, it's in my ear at the moment right now as well. The Dutch anthem. It's all right. Look, we had 7-8 years of the British national anthem being played through people's ears, and now it's the Dutch national anthem. So. Just done with watching Max wins for me, Perez won. Have you seen the TikToks where they just like scratch them out? They scratch them out. But I'll tell you what, guys, let's have a look. So that's the end of the race. Let's run through the grid one more time, and then we'll have a little butchers at the Twitter, shall we? And see what people are saying, what people's thoughts are after that race. Oh, yes. So I'm also on the Missed Apex podcast tonight, guys, discussing this race at 9:30 UK time. I was going to say I hope he was pushing that back so that I could have time to fit in some dinner. So, right, Max Verstappen, the grids. Max Verstappen is your winner for the second time this year. And how many races in a row now has he won? How many races has he won in a row now? Is it like 8, 9, something like that? But Perez in P2, 13.5 seconds behind his teammate. Maybe that gap would have been slightly closer if Perez was not out of position at the start of the race, of course, with his qualifying. But look, he cleared Leclerc a few laps afterwards, and yeah, was never on the pace of his teammate. Anyway. Leclerc finishes in P3, getting fastest lap as well, so he gains an extra point there. Piastri in P4. Took him a while to get past Lewis Hamilton, but he did it eventually and finished just under 4 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso in P5. George Russell in the Mercedes in P6, the second race in a row that he's finished ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Ollie Behrman, driver of the day. We know the story of Ollie Behrman. If you don't already, go give it a quick Google. And yeah, for him to finish in P7, he got his fastest lap of the race on the last lap of the race as well. And yeah, just grew and grew throughout that race and held off the charge in Norris and Hamilton on the soft compound tyres at the end. So a very mature drive from him, and one that he'll definitely remember. So Norris and Hamilton in 8th and 9th. Hamilton, of course, struggled all weekend. They tried to do something different, Mercedes, by keeping him out on the medium compound tyres during that safety car. And unfortunately, the second safety car, or red flag, didn't come around. So yeah, Norris and Hamilton both trying the same thing, finished 8th and 9th. Hulkenberg, great drive from him, finishing in P10, especially after his... he started off the year well, guys, isn't he? He started off the year well. He was unfortunate with his engine cutting out yesterday in qualifying, so he started 15th. But yeah, a point for him, and if he didn't ram into the back of Lance Stroll last week, could have had multiple points on the board already in the first 2 races of the year, which I don't think anyone expected of Haas, considering the kind of position they're in and all the stories we heard with Gunther and lack of money, etc. Albon in 11th, Magnussen with 20 seconds worth of time penalties, finishes in 12th. I'm surprised he finished in 12th still, regarding that. Ocon in 13th, good from Alpine, considering how poor they are. Tsunoda, the biggest loser of positions today, other than Lance Stroll, finishing in 14th, down 5 positions. Sargent, 15th. Ricciardo, 16th. Poor from both of those today. And, well, yeah, the Stake F1 team are just also not great at the moment either. Both were goal hanging for a safety car like Hamilton and Norris, and it didn't happen. Lance Stroll, go and take up tennis. Go take up tennis or something, guys. Go, like, please, go and be a tennis coach and give that seat to someone who deserves it. Like, the mistake he made was a big driver error. He turned into turn 22, it was, and clipped the wall on the entry and broke his front left suspension and went straight into the barrier. So a massive driver error. And then, as someone kindly informed me, Gasly had a gearbox issue at the start of the race on the very first lap and had to retire the car. So yeah, that is your final grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. 2 weeks' time, guys, we have the Australian Grand Prix, which is going to be an early one for me. 4 a.m. 4 a.m. the Australian Grand Prix is this year, UK time. And then it's going to be 5 a.m. For qualifying, I think, as well. So, yes, I'm not going to... I'm not going to get a lot of sleep that weekend, that's for sure. Lots of caffeine. I'm going to have to stock up on the coffee. Max is the guy who just on an evening stroll, nothing else. Was that a pun intended there? Stroll. Hamilton pretty far down. How come? Just slow. Just slow at the moment. Behrman is 10th in the driver standings. Yes. Yeah, great for him. Hamilton hasn't won a race in a long time. It's just not the start of this season. True. Yep. Mercedes season horrible so far, Connor. Yeah. You can see... I wonder how the dynamic's going to play out between Russell and Hamilton. You've got someone, of course, who wants a car, but it's going to be quick. Even with his last year in Mercedes, it's not going to happen. By the looks of it, who's on his way out the door. And then you've got George Russell, who's trying to stay upbeat, be the team leader heading into next year. And there was always talks of how that dynamic's going to play out. And I think that dynamic's already showing, to be honest with you. So, 7th season F1 for Stroll, just wow. Is that his 7th season? Is that how long he's been in F1 now for? Wow, it's nearly been like a decade in F1. I still don't feel like he's improved. Where's Nikita Mazepin going to join? What do I think of Max joining Merck? Look, if it happens, I think it's great for the sport. I think when any top driver moves to another team, I think it just throws a spanner in the works of the dominant team, or just at the top of the standings. I think it's great for the sport, the fact that Lewis is moving over to Ferrari. It opens up the driver market. It gives other opportunities for some other younger drivers to come in as well, because of everyone trying to posture for that top seat. So yeah, I would, look, being a Mercedes fan, I'm still a Mercedes fan even when Lewis moves over to Ferrari. I welcome it. Whenever a top driver wants to move to a different team, let's go for it. We want some spiciness in F1. We don't like the same old. That's what was so great about seeing Ollie Bearman on the grid today. It was someone new on the grid. It's the first time in F1 history we have not had one single new driver, rookie driver, on the grid the following season. Because, yeah, everyone retained their seat. Because this year, there are 12 drivers out of contract because they all want to position themselves for those 2026 regulation changes. So what you want to do in an ideal scenario is move to your desired team for that start of that new regulation set a year before the regulations change, so that you're able to embed yourself within the team. You know who the team are, you know how the car is, how the development's going on the car, etc. And that's why Lewis has moved now. Obviously, there's other reasons why Lewis is moving next year, but that's why Lewis is moving next year anyway. One of the main reasons, because he's able to spend a year in Ferrari with that new regulation set, and it'd be the same for a number of other drivers as well. So, but yeah, Bearman doing great for his first time. Hopefully, we'll see him in a car next year. I think one of Hulkenberg or Magnussen will leave next year. Ferrari have a very close relationship with Haas. Of course, they provide them a lot of parts, engines. I think there'll be a little bit of a handshake there. But he's already their reserve driver. He's actually Haas's reserve driver. I think there'll be an insistence on Ferrari to put Bearman in that seat next year, or one of the Haas seats at least, especially after that performance. And look, he qualified on pole in F2 over the weekend as well. He's going to have a great year in F2. So yeah, very highly rated, and he's young. He can spend a few years in that Haas seat like George Russell did, even younger than George Russell actually. If he joined next year, he'd be 19, and yeah, spend 3 years in that team. He's only 22 when Lewis probably ends up retiring in 3 years' time. So yeah, it's a note outperforming Daniel. So I'd say it's 1-1. I think he definitely had the better of Daniel this race. Bahrain was a little bit more level playing field. I'd say Tsunoda's probably got the better of Ricciardo to start off the year. Yeah, actually. But it's 1-1, of course, in race results. And of course, we know what happened last week in regards to the team orders. But yeah, I think Tsunoda started the year stronger than Danny Rick. He couldn't overtake Magnussen. Magnussen was defending very hard. But yeah, Tsunoda lost a few positions after he tried to go around Magnussen and then never really recovered from that. So who do I support, Anish? I support primarily the Brits. So I do have a Lewis Hamilton poster here, as you can tell, and helmet. So I am a Lewis Hamilton fan. However, I am not a blind fan, hardcore fan of anyone. I predominantly support the Brits. So Hamilton, Norris, Bearman today as well. George Russell, and we had, even though he races under the tyre flag, I'm a big fan of Alex Albon as well. I support Mercedes because I just have always liked Mercedes. I like Mercedes as a car company as well. I've got a car in real life, fortunately. So yeah, I like Mercedes, and I like McLaren as well. But I grew up on McLaren. I grew up on watching Mika Häkkinen. Mika Häkkinen was my favourite driver growing up, even more so than Michael Schumacher. And he was just like, that's probably like my favourite driver ever, to be honest with you. Mika Häkkinen, and then Hamilton's like close behind. So yeah, they're kind of the teams that I support. And I also like to see Williams do well as well. So, but yeah, I'm not a blind fan of anyone. Look, drivers make mistakes as well. They have poor performances. It's trying to understand why that is, and not just blindly defending drivers when they make mistakes and so forth, because they're only human and they're having to make decisions in a split second as well. So, but yeah. Did the fireworks finish? Any Le Mans favourite teams? I don't watch World Endurance Championship that much. But let's have a quick look at Twitter just to end this stream, guys. So a big thank you to all of you who have tuned in. 844 likes. Oh, come on. Surely there are 100 and... I'm having to do maths now. Surely there's 156 of you who haven't hit the like button in this stream. Come on, let's get to 1,000. 1,000. Right, let's see what they are saying on Twitter at the moment? A little bit off topic. Did you see Akira Toriyama passed away? So sad, man. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z. That was yeah. Bit of a side topic there, but 4 drivers would deserve an F1 seat right now. Liam Lawson, Ollie Behrman, Teo Pourchaire, and Filippo Drogovic. I can't disagree with that, to be honest with you. Can't disagree with that. I like the PR around Stake, but you can't meme your way up the grid. A bit of a desperate weekend. Have to agree. Lance, can you bring the car back? Accurate representation. Yeah, so Lando Norris. So someone's made mention of the jump start again. If you haven't seen the jump start, guys, the jump start of Lando Norris was very, very bizarre. How that's got away with a penalty, without a penalty. I'm still surprised he got away with that. I really thought he would. He would get one. I'd be interested to see the steward's reasonings for that. Who do I think is going to get more points? Haas, Williams, or RB? I still think RB will. I still think RB will get better parts as the year goes on. So they've started off quite poorly. But I do think they're going to end up with more points at the end of the season, yeah. I just think at some point they're going to get those previous Red Bull parts and they'll move their way up the grid. Haas have started off very well, but we see Haas. Unfortunately, there's a pattern with Haas is that they always start the year off quite strong, and then as the development game continues throughout the year, where they haven't got that money to spend, they get caught up and they really fall behind. So this is a consistent pattern of Haas, unfortunately, which is why they need to make the most of the opportunities they're getting at the moment at the start of the year. Hulkenberg doing what he did last week is a big what's the right word? Big issue for them last year, like just not capitalizing last week, not capitalizing on that good qualifying position and then picking up the front wing damage, because he had potential to pick up finishing the points again last week. So he's done it this week, as thankfully. But yeah, I expect Red Bull to catch them up eventually, and possibly Williams as well to overtake them. I would probably say Red Bull. RB will finish the front of that three, then it'll be Williams, and then it'll be Haas. So I think that's how it will go. So points for Ollie Behrman. Yes, as someone rightfully said, he is now P7 in the championship, P10 in the championship, something like that. Ollie Behrman. That crash from Lance Stroll is the kind of stuff you see people with 800 IR on iRacing do. I have to agree. But I don't know if this is the right time to bring it up, but Ollie Behrman is now officially last in the Formula 2 Drivers' Championship, and he lost the points for pole position. Tough weekend for the lad. That is so, if that's true. Wow. At this point, just make the scheduled tweets. No one else is beating him. Season is already declared. Yeah. Someone said here, basic Ollie, without Stroll, Aston Martin would be fighting Mercedes and Ferrari and could potentially beat them. I still don't think they have the car to beat them, but I have to agree they'd be a lot closer. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at what Alonso's able to do in that car. He would, yeah. I mean, if they had a second driver there, it'd be a lot closer, and it'd be a lot better for us neutrals as well, who want to see closer fighting further up the grid. So Alpine likely last, yeah. But that was his dad yesterday. Highlights. That is a very good meme. Magnussen just protecting Nico Hulkenberg. Oh, that's a very, very good meme. Will Buxton reports, doesn't matter if Lando left his box or not. Article 48.1a states its movement before start signal should be a slam dunk. And then, what's this here? Any of the penalties under Articles 50 will be imposed on any driver who is judged to have moved before the start signal is given. Such judgment being made by an FIA approved and supplied transponder fitted to each car. So yeah. So if he's moved before the start signal, that should have been a slam dunk penalty. Start signal was given. Such judgment being made by an FIA approved and supplied transponder. The GPS like thing, basically. So this was not a jump start according to the transponder, someone's commented on the right hand side. Correct. So they're okay, so they're following. How would that not be dedicated? How would that not be indicated? So that's a fault of the technology then. So apparently it's a fault of the technology, but the transponder wasn't, even though they've got video evidence, they have to follow the regulations. They can't overrule the transponder. That's bizarre. So then if they're able, so theoretically someone could jump the start. If they have a faulty transponder, they could jump the start, but then they're not, like, quite clearly, and they're not able to penalise it, even though it would be clearly evidenced on. I need to see the rest of that regulation because it says or. I need to see the rest of that regulation. Where is the rest of it? Oh, here we go. It's a bit big. Hang on. We're getting into the technical regs now, guys. It's a bit big, so sorry. Oh my god, what's going on here? I wanted to zoom in, not zoom out. Right, guys, apologies. So, it is staying here. Or positioned his car on the starting grid in such a way that the transponder is unable to detect the moment at which the car first moved from its grid position after the start signal is given. Or any part of the contact patch of its front tyres outside of the line, front and sides at the time of the start signal. So, any part of the contact patch of its front tyres outside of the line, front and sides. So that reads to me that they are able to judge based on video evidence whether he positioned his car on the starting grid in such a way that the transponder is unable to detect the moment at which the first car first moved from its grid position. Yeah, so that covers itself then. They've covered them. Well, they should have covered themselves to an extent. I don't know. It happened a few times before that someone jumped the start but not gotten a penalty because they haven't moved enough or something like that. I get it, but some people have. That was a slam dunk. You can see that he's moved forward quite clearly and evidently. But yeah, Alpine had development issues. They knew in advance coming into this season that they'll be shit. Yes, and I mean that team is in an absolute shit show at the moment. Senior personnel were leaving left, right, and centre. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Someone made a great bet on the Missed Apex podcast that Alpine won't be in F1, or at least they won't be in F1 under the guys that they are at the moment in 2026. And I think the way they're going, I think someone will buy them out. Yeah. I'm just hoping Danny Rick wakes up later in the season. No more noise and distractions. Yeah, we'll see. Highlights of F1 Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Right, guys. Right, I am now going to go have some dinner. I've got 2.5 hours until I'm now on the Missed Apex podcast. You can tune into that. So head over to the Missed Apex F1 YouTube channel where it will be live streamed, or you can listen to it back on your Monday morning commute or Sunday commute because it's a Saturday and it will be up tomorrow. For the race review, we'll be giving our highlights, of course, our top 3 moments, our least top 3 moments, the bottom 3 moments, and just kind of discussing the race as a whole. And I now need to go do my research and find out why people were so bad. So yeah, have a lovely rest of your Saturday evening, guys. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Over 3,500 viewers in this stream. That's a PB for me. I'm pretty sure that's a PB. So yeah, big thank you. We just fallen short of 1,000 likes. So we'll get there next time, guys. We'll get there next time. But yeah, I don't know how many subscribers I got. Big thank you to every single one of you who subscribed during the stream. Sorry I can't catch up with them all. But yeah, we are continue continue to grow. We are continuing to grow this community and channel. I love doing these F1 watch-alongs for you. And yeah, there'll be plenty of sim racing content in the rain next week, as we have the first week, official week of the season with rain in iRacing. So yeah, looking forward to getting down and doing those official races, not just with the AI. But yeah, have a lovely rest of your evening, guys, day. Have a lovely Sunday, rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you in a week. Bye.